guys. Let's go ahead and get things started. What's up? Welcome to another edition of the Stay at Home Open Mic presented by the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. It's Monday, August 24th. And as always, we have an awesome lineup to bring you guys today. So, really quick, my name is Richie Marufo. I will be your host. I'm the project director of this whole thing. And we have a live Zoom audience. You can say studio audience, but we say we have a live Zoom audience. Guys, unmute yourselves and let them hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds good. So check it. We are live on YouTube. And if you guys are tuned in right now, I welcome you. If you're watching this from at any point in the future, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy the show. So a couple quick notes. We are based out of El Paso, Texas, and we're affiliated with a local literary nonprofit called Border Senses, bringing literary arts to El Paso, its people, and the region. So we have a bunch of different projects. It's the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series where we have, pandemic aside, we usually have about up to 10 to 15 events a month where people can sign up and share their poetry, their writing, their comedy, their music, if they're working on anything, people of any skill level, actually. So, we've adapted. It's, we're here. And that's fine. We're going to make this a thing. It's a little bit of trying to get a little community going. And it's been really cool because we've been able to connect with people all over the country. So that's true today. We have poets that are joining us. We have a pretty full list. So I'm going to try not to talk so much, but I do welcome you. I'm coming out of you from a studio in El Paso, Texas called Power at the Pass. It's a content creation studio where we do a lot of film, content creation, commercial work, voiceover work, and podcasts, all that cool stuff. Look up poweratthepass.com online. It's about to be a book and it's a beer now. So yeah, I'm excited to start the show, guys. So if you're watching on YouTube, since we're not doing the whole live crowd thing, it's hard to like clap and cheer. So we're gonna have to like replace that. So if you're on YouTube, push that like button, leave a comment. There's the live chat. You can check if you're with us live. Definitely participate in the live chat. We will try and share links because, of course, all of these wonderful people have their projects and books and media that they want to share with you. So we'll be dropping links as well, so you guys can follow them and support them, because that ultimately it's a platform. That's what it is. And we're gonna go and kick things off with, to me, a powerhouse here in the writing scene. She has a couple books published. I'm sure there's one in the works, has been published all sorts of places. A consistent Tumblewordista, right? The weekly writing workshop series. We have Robin Schofield in the house. Robin, how are you? How are you today? Welcome.
Let's get you on here. I'm pretty good. I took my vitamin B, so I'm jazzed up.
Awesome. Well, always great to have you. What do you have for us today?
Well, I'm working on a little chapbook for what or for whom, I don't know. It's called Nightmare Woman instead of Dream Woman. So this is a couple of poems from that collection. This one is called Coming to Be. An owl nests in my mouth. She flies out nightly to hunt by the talons of the moon. The prayer for the dead begins again, and the land that was stolen tells the story again. I make my rounds to check on the tarantula hiding underground with my arms and chest. What would the earth give to make me whole again? The cave on the mountainside is dark, so dark as my mouth, where the owl has flown back and folded her wings around her young, yet to take flight. And then this one is, I don't know, I don't really spell it out in here, but it's partly about my character that I call Nightmare Woman, and she's speculating about St. Paul. So just so you know, it's called Clear Day After a Moonless Night. She couldn't spell it out, her longing, so she listened to the voice inside her, so forlorn. What told her to name things? The breath inside a shell, a child placed on a dog's grave? What about the saint who didn't start out that way? He was the smartest person in a room full of shabby beggars. He was the least needy, so he changed his name and made it seem as if the disciples had eavesdropped. He explained Yeshua ben Yosef. They needed that. He started by renaming his conversation with God. Yet her longing, it goes unnamed because she couldn't start with a lie or an accusation. Unnamed music, it will have to be then. Where is the wind in the trees the weatherman predicted? The birds don't speak of that, but always utter the name in their tuneless songs of mourning. And the saint who appeared to end badly, he was beheaded near Rome after renaming the Godhead. But who was the mother of God? She remembers that sea breeze shell on the dog's grave, the name she would pray to if she could sing. And then this one is also in that collection. It's called Hospitality. You never know when a stranger might be an angel. Therefore, always let them in. Don't let strangers die of thirst in your desert. They won't know the secret water holes you have mapped in your head, a treasure code. X marks the life you would give to strangers in order to make a friend in the lonely desert. There is an understanding that they would do the same for you and show you the shade of the one tree, an acacia hugging the ground, befriending the ants. And then I want to do, oh, thank you. I'm not pausing for applause or snapping of fingers, am I? I'm just rifling right through. I want to do a cover poem, as my son calls it. This is by Edwin Arlington Robinson. And it's a little bit of a downer. It's called Richard Cory. Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean favored and imperially slim. And he was always quietly arrayed, and he was always human when he talked, but still he fluttered pulses when he said, "Good morning," and he glittered when he walked. And he was rich, yes, richer than a king, and admirably schooled in every grace. In fine, we thought that he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place. So on we worked and waited for the light and went without the meat and cursed the bread. And Richard Cory, one calm summer night, went home and put a bullet through his head. That's my reading. Thank you.
Damn, that's a classic one right there, that Richard Cory.
Yeah, he's a great poet, Edwin Arlington Robinson. Worth checking out, one of the old guys.
Yeah. So how's the new stuff coming along, the upcoming book?
Oh, my book is kind of stalled because of the pandemic. I've got one endorsement, as I like to call it, on the back cover. I need a couple of more, but we're not hurrying. It's going to be called Drive. I've got a cool cover on it. It's on Facebook.
Cool. Awesome. Can't wait to see the realized product. Thank you, Robin. And also
it's almost the selected poems. So I'm really excited about it. We just have to wait.
That's super cool. And also, actually, I wanted to ask, who's doing Tumblewords this Saturday? Who's running that?
Oh
I don't know.
yeah, Maria Miranda Maloney, former publisher of Mouthfeel Press, who did my first book, Sunflower Cantos.
Awesome. Yeah. So tune in. That's from 1 to 3. So you can follow the Tumblewords project page on Facebook for that. And on top of that, there's also going to be an anniversary show, 25 years of Tumblewords.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the last couple of years or so, Tumblewords has teamed up with BWOMS to host a reading during the yearly celebration. I think I mentioned it last week. We've usually been able to do it at this really cool studio, Star City Studios. Unfortunately, again, because the pandemic, we can't really put that together. So we're going to be doing an online reading. So all you guys right now listening, everyone in the Zoom chat, everyone watching on YouTube, come be part of this celebration. It's just a celebration of writing, getting things done, and just of the writing community. And I want to be seen as stronger. I want to be seen as more unified. So come through this Saturday. It's BWOMS is going to host it. Tumblewords readers are going to sign up. But of course, it's welcome to anyone who wants to share any of their writing. You can find that on Facebook. Just look up 25 years. I can't remember the name exactly. It's 25 years of Tumblewords project reading. You can find it on the Tumblewords page or the BWOMS page. And yeah, awesome. Thank you, Robin, for kicking things off. Always good to start strong, right? Okay, so we're going to keep going, guys. Boom, boom, boom. Welcome. We're going to go ahead and bring up, for the first time at the stay-at-home open mic, he's no stranger to our in-person open mics. In fact, he's performed at several of our venues. He's a singer-songwriter. He's always rocking his guitar, and I'm always happy to see what he's going to sing. Joining us for the first time during Zoom, during our stay-at-home open mic, we have Isaac Torres in the house. Isaac, how you doing? Let's get you on there.
I'm doing good. Hope you guys are doing all right too, especially considering the circumstances. Thanks for doing this, Richie.
Thanks for joining. It's nothing without all of us who do it together, honestly. So you have a couple songs for us today?
Yeah, a couple of songs. See how it goes. Hopefully it won't take too long.
All right. Welcome, man.
All right, cool. Can you hear me okay? Everything good? All right.
Go ahead and strum a little bit. Let's make sure. Did you turn on the original sound?
Yeah, I did. Some reason on the I have an interface, but it's not like registering for some reason. Can you hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it.
All right. As long as you can hear it, I'll figure out what is it later. All right, guys. My name's Isaac. Got a couple of songs for you. These are mine, so if you like them or hate them, you know who to blame. So this one's called "I Don't Want to Be Your Friend." It sounds mean, but you'll see. I had never known what it's like to fall to a four-letter word, being at a beck and call. Tell me how this happened, 'cause I swore I wouldn't be strong. But every hour spent with you told me I was wrong. So I hope you know what I meant when I saw you and I said, what if I were more than this? Do you think I'm worth the risk? So straight up and I admit I want more, I'll say again. I hope you take it as a compliment, 'cause I don't want to be your friend. I had never known what it's like to lose every part of my mind. Every time I think of you, tell me how this happened, 'cause I never lose my cool. But every hour spent with you tell me I'm a fool. So I hope you know what I meant when I saw you and I said, what if I were more than this? Do you think I'm worth the risk? So straight up and I admit I want more, I'll say again. I hope you take it as a compliment, 'cause I don't want to be your friend. I would rather hear you say I'm just not your type. I would rather hear you tell me that I'm just not worth the time. But if you say what I know, what could be coming next? Just rip my heart out, it's the same as if you tell me we can just be. I hope you know what I meant when I saw you, when I said, what if I were more than this? Do you think I'm worth the risk? So straight up and I admit, yeah, I want more, I'll say again. I hope you take it as a compliment, cause I don't wanna be your friend. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys. This next one is called You Can Always Come Again. Tell me, darling, do you ever wonder why you always seem to have another step to climb? Never question with a smile on your face, never knowing who you're picking up along the way. So if you're moving but your dreams are standing still, have you forgotten about everyone for yourself? If you feel like breaking down and need somewhere to rest, you can always come to me, and you can always come again. And tell me, darling, do you stop to catch your breath? Playing angel always seems to have a consequence. All for granted, overworked and underpaid. But you just move along, always someone else to save. So if you're moving but your dreams are standing still, and you're taking care of everybody but yourself, if you feel like breaking down and need somewhere to rest, you can always come to me, and you can always come again. Whoa, 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 you can always come again. The sky is turning black, it's getting bad outside. I try to hold you back, but you say you need to fly. No, I'll never question that look always in your eyes. But someone's gotta be the one to pick you up, so I will try. So if you're moving but your dreams are standing still, and you're taking care of everybody but yourself, if you need to rest your feet or stop to catch your breath, you can always come to me, and you can always come again. So if you're moving but your dreams are standing still, and you are taking care of everybody but yourself, if you need to rest your feet or stop to catch your breath, you can always come to me, and you can always come again. Whoa, 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 you can always come again. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, you can always come again.
Oh man.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I got one more for you. It's pretty short, so hope you like it. This one's called As Long As You Remember. To all my girls who hear my words, who love so much to where it hurts, you are more than you believe. You are stronger than you seem. Mirrors lie and love is blind, so let your light come from inside. As long as you remember that your beauty will forever last. To all my boys who hear my words, who cover broken bones with dirt, you have nothing more to prove to anyone except for you. Use your strength for what is right. Trust the light to be your guide. As long as you remember that, then you will be a better man. Nothing special about me or anything I had to say. I have only had more time to learn from more of my mistakes. If I can save you any pain from every mess I've ever made, maybe you could make it work. I'd change your mind, I've changed the world. To anyone who hears my words, there is more that you deserve. Maybe you don't see it now. If you're lost, you will be found. Every lesson you will find is every light that is inside. As long as you remember that the world is yours, look in your hands. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Right on, man. Right on. Isaac coming in hot. I love it. So really quick, this is you're new here, so you don't know, but the drill, like where can people, do you have your music posted anywhere that people can follow? Where can we follow your journey as a musician?
Yeah, I actually have a few songs up on SoundCloud. It's at Isaac Matthew Torres. So if you guys want to check that out, I got some stuff up there and hopefully putting some more soon. I have a lot of stuff, just I haven't recorded it. That's the thing.
Well, that's good, man. That means you got some stuff to work through, and we can't wait till you'll release it. And actually, can you drop those links in the Zoom chat for us?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll
Cool.
do that right now.
Awesome.
Cool, thanks
Hey,
a lot, man.
yeah, thanks for joining us. Very, very cool music. We don't get a whole lot. We haven't been getting a whole lot of music on here. Rightfully so. Zoom can be a little kind of weird sometimes with it, but you know, when it works, it works. And we're gonna keep going, guys. Once again, welcome to the Stay at Home Open Mic. My name is Richie Marufo, your host. Dead Wall Reveries on Instagram. Go check that out. But we're gonna continue. We got some awesome readers tonight. I'm really looking forward to. Some still finding their way through the interwebs. But right now, we got 3 people who are here. They're amazing. I always look forward to what they bring every week. And we have Lee MS up next. I don't know if you've ever gotten this early, but we have Lee in the house. Make some noise. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Sorry. So I am trying something different today. I haven't wrote short stories in a long while, and so this is new.
Awesome. New shit.
Yes, no mierda. And then an approximation of my 2 favorite months, October and November, so something spooky too. So this is called Morirse en Lunes, and I have the translation as well. Se escucha una vez más el rechinar de dientes de los esqueletos que se asoman por la ventana. La luz ya no ahuyenta las sombras y una mano esquelética crea penumbra y pesadillas sobre su rostro, drenando el color de su piel. Ya casi es hora. Una marcha fúnebre retumba en las paredes del cuarto que ha ocupado ya por más de una semana. Hace apenas una semana dejó de gritar mi nombre seguido de exigencias y comenzó a susurrarlo, como si tuviera miedo de que lo encontraran, seguido de quejas y lloriqueos. Un maullido le eriza los vellos de la nuca, el escalofrío extendiéndose sobre su cuerpo. Él jala el zarape hasta que tape el pecho, sus labios resecos y la nariz, solo sus ojos y cabeza sobresaliendo, expuestos ante las pesadillas rodeándole. Remojo otro trapo y lo dejo posar sobre su frente enfebrecida. Hace una semana de estar escuchando las mismas exigencias de siempre, pero ahora entre sollozos y hay veces con una voz dulce. Quédate, se escapan de sus labios polillas y de su saliva telarañas. No quiero encenderme y caer en el piso. Si así fuera, me habría ahorrado todo el drama de la semana y no hubiera más que barrido la pila de polvo y cenizas inquietas que formarían remolinos sobre el piso. Si así fuera, lo habría podido tener sobre el piso por lo menos un día, viendo cómo tiraba todo lo que alguna vez llegó a arruinar con su presencia, todo lo que trajera su recuerdo de vuelta a esta casa. Quédate, que ya casi me muero. La verdad es que él casi no llega tan rápido como yo quisiera. Sus ojos me miran como pidiendo que detenga todo y yo no puedo más que pensar en cómo me gustaría acelerar su desgaste antes de que sea lunes. Si muriese en domingo, podría dejar asentar sobre el piso una capa de su polvo. Quizás incluso quedaría tiempo para dejar que sus ojos me vieran mientras paso la escoba sobre sus huesos y cenizas, juntándolo a motoncitos para luego barrerlo a la basura. Sin embargo, conociendo mi suerte, morirá el lunes, día de limpieza. Me miran, mujer, ¿que no los ves, vieja? Me distrae el rechinar de la casa y entre dientes murmuro que quisiera dejar de estar viendo y se lo llevaran de una vez. He estado posada a su lado por las últimas horas, rogando que ya se lo lleven para así poder tirar ya ese catre que ha ocupado por días. En intervalos de tiempo logro ver los fantasmas de quien solía ser antes. De perdido una vez al día grita mi nombre y exige atención, cuidados, que le cambie la televisión, que le ajuste la almohada, que le destape una botella, que le caliente la comida. Las veces que lo he ignorado se le humedecieron los ojos y clavó su mirada en el techo, aguantándose las lágrimas. Tu mano, dame tu mano, me dice ahora que otra vez he decidido ignorarlo. Quiero sentirte cerca, como si fuera la última vez. Yo lo miro con asco, pero le extiendo mi mano para que la sostenga, su sudor pegosteándose en mi piel. Bajo un estruendo de murmullos y sollozos, siento el escozor que recorre su cuerpo y veo cómo poco a poco comienza a incendiarse. Lo miro con asco, pero continúa a su lado solo para lograr ver cómo se lo llevan a pedazos. Ayer en la noche suplicó por perdón entre sus oraciones. Hoy, estoy segura, va a pedírmelo a mí directamente. Muchacha, cuando me hayan llevado, su otra mano alcanza a agarrarme un mechón de mi cabello. Juega con él con una ternura que en vida jamás demostró. Quiero que me prendas unas velas. Quiero que pienses en mí, que me perdones, para poder descansar. No logro más que pensar en cómo cortaré mi cabello en cuanto se haya ido, en cómo quemaré todos los muebles que llegó a tocar, en cómo haré pedazos cada retrato con su rostro. Si pudiera, también me echaría la lumbre, pero eso sería darle la satisfacción de ver que lo he seguido incluso en la muerte. Soy demasiado orgullosa. Dime que me perdonas, mujer. Manos cadavéricas se posan sobre mis hombros. Yo lo miro, le sonrío y me hago a un lado. Llevo una semana aguantando su lenta descomposición, como si de pronto fuera a echar a perder esos días postrada a su lado nada más porque me mostró sus lágrimas de cocodrilo. Hija de puta, murmulla él entre dientes. Bendita muerte, más vale tarde que nunca. Las calacas comienzan a trepar en su cama, extendiendo las manos sobre su rostro, sus brazos, su pecho. Cada una evoca una llamarada que lentamente le quema la piel, los músculos y los huesos. Sus ojos miran fijo a los míos. Haz algo que me lleva a la chingada. Luego logro ver lágrimas nuevamente. Esta vez no las ha fingido. Nuevamente le sonrío y, como antes, decido ignorar sus exigencias y alaridos. En vez, me enfoco en apagar la tele, tirar a la basura sus pantuflas y el reloj del bolsillo que mantiene siempre a su lado de la cama. Es la 1 de la mañana del lunes cuando sus quejidos disminuyen. Suspirando, me hago paso hacia la cocina para poder hervir agua para café y preparar un pan dulce para llevar. Le echo la vista a la escoba y recogedor, como implorándoles que por tan solo un día rompamos la rutina. Pero la rutina y sus exigencias están tan arraigadas a mí que por lo menos hoy me es difícil darme el gusto. Cuando regreso a la sala, él ya es polvo, cenizas. No han dejado ni sus ojos para que vieran cómo tiraba a la basura también sus mentadas velas. Por lo menos me vieron tirar sus chucherías y el polvo me sentirá barrerlo a la basura. Poco a poco, las calaveras se incorporan de la cama y cae el silencio. Un triste silencio porque lamentablemente ya no está sufriendo. A pesar de todo, de la espera, de lo poco que duró el castigo y mi satisfacción, de nuestro agradecimiento a las calacas, conforme van saliendo de la casa, les extiendo mi mano, ofreciéndoles una bebida y pan por la molestia. Mientras las observo alejarse, alisto entre mis manos el recogedor y la escoba. El lunes ya llegó y el polvo viejo y las cenizas esperan la limpieza rutinaria. Sorry for the dogs barking.
No, they're loving it. They're snap. Dogs can't snap, so they have to bark.
And this is the translation. I'm trying to be as quick as possible, but this one was long. So here it goes. In the translation of the title is To Die on Monday. Once again, you can hear the grinding teeth of the skeleton spearing through the windows. Light no longer casts away the shadows, and a skeletal hand pours down the shadows and nightmares over his head, draining the color of his skin. It's almost time. A funeral march rumbles on the walls of the room, and he has occupied for over a week. Just a week ago, he stopped shouting my name. Just a week ago, the endless fog of his demands vanished, replaced by whimpers and whispers, as if hiding from someone, terrified of being found. A caterwaul makes the fine hair at the back of his neck stand in attention, spreading a shiver across his body that is hard to miss. He pulls the serape over his chest, over his chapped lips, just his eyes and head left unprotected by his nightmares. I hide a shackle with the almost static music on the radio and produce a wet rag to place over his feverish head. It's been a week of listening to the same demands he's always made, but now I can only hear fear, sometimes sweetness, but no anger left in him. Please stay, viejita. I can see the moths escaping the prison of his lips and cobwebs clinging to his mouth like saliva. I'm afraid I will be set ablaze any time now. If that was the case, he would have saved me the week of drama and set fire to himself earlier. Sweeping the swirling whirlwind of his ashes from the floor would have been preferable over seeing him like this, useless. Or I could have kept him on the floor, perhaps just for one day, have him watch me throw everything he ever ruined with his memory away. Please stay, viejita. I'm almost gone. To be truthful, that almost continued feeling like an eternity, ever since the first day we found out about his passing. His eyes beg for me to stop it all, and I can't help but think of how wonderful it would be if I could speed up his decay, to make it end for him before Monday. If he died on a Sunday, I could leave his ashes rest on the floor. There might be even time for his eyes to watch me as I clean his dirt from the floor, dust it all into the street, and throw all remains to the waste bin. But knowing my luck, he will end up dying on Monday, and Monday is dusting day, no time to let him settle. They are watching me, mujer. Can you see them? I nod as I walk towards the kitchen, just a few feet away from his makeshift bed that I had made for him, just in front of the door, close enough for death to stop by and take him as soon as he was gone. Under my breath, I plead for them to stop simply watching and to drag him with them already. I've been by his side the last few hours, begging for him to be gone so I can throw away the cot and open up my windows. In moments, I can see the ghost of who he used to be. Every now and then, he yells my name and demands my attention, for me to care for him, to change the TV channel or the radio, to adjust his pillow, to pop open yet another bottle, to warm up his food. The times I ignore him, his eyes water up as he fixated them on the ceiling, trying to hold back the tears. Give me your hand, viejita. I can smell the pan dulce almost ready for the visit. 2 days of dedication almost completed and just in time for her to arrive. I pour myself some chocolate and stand from the kitchen, watching him sweat and shiver, and ponder whether I should ignore his final wishes or not. I want to feel you close, mija, as if it would be the last time. I walk slowly towards him, wanting nothing but to recoil away and continue watching from afar as he dies. But I reach for his hand and sit by his side. I can feel his sweat seeping from his pores onto my skin. Under the rumble of tears and whimpers, I start feeling a burning sting as fire rushes through his body, little by little. I look at him with disgust, but remain by his side, only to watch as they take him away in bits and pieces. Last night, I heard him begging for forgiveness during his prayers. I'm sure he will ask me now directly. Muchacha, when I'm gone, when they take me, his other hand reaches for a lock of my hair, and he twirls it with such fondness I never saw him show when he was alive. Turn on some veladoras for me. Think of me. Forgive me so I can rest. All I can think of is how I will cut my hair once he is gone, how I will set the furniture on fire, how I will tear each photograph with his face on it apart. If I could, I would throw myself to the fire too, but that would give him the satisfaction of thinking he destroyed me. I'm too proud for that. Tell me you forgive me, mujer. Skeletal hands lay over my shoulders. I look at him and smile, moving aside for her to do her job. I've been putting up with his slow decay for a week now, as if his crocodile tears would persuade me from throwing away all the hatred I have saved up from a lifetime with him. Hija de puta, he sits, last breath wasted on me. Holy death, better now than ever. The skeletons start to climb over his bed, stretching their limbs over his face, arms, and chest. Each of them ignites a flame over him. slowly burning away his skin, muscles, and bones. His eyes are now fixed on mine. Haz algo que me lleva la chingada. I can see him crying again, this time real tears flowing down his cheeks and evaporating as the flames reach his face. I ignore him once again, instead standing out of the way of her and her workers. I turn off the TV, grab his slippers and pocket watch to throw away onto the funeral pyre, and head towards the kitchen, where I sit watching as the fire consumes what little is left of him. It is 1 a.m. of Monday when his whimpers finally recede. I stand up, pour a hot cup of chocolate, and pack a napkin with a piece of bread. On the way, I catch a glimpse of the dustpan and broom and beg for them to break away from the routine, at least for one day. But I'm too rooted in my habits to give myself some peace for only one day. When I return my gaze to him, all that is left is dust. The skeletons didn't leave a trace of him behind, not even his size, so he could watch me throw his body and his veladoras to the trash. I'll stand aside while the skeletons disappear behind shadows and under the bed. We are left in silence as she stands looking at what's left. A regretful silence as I can no longer hear him suffer. Despite an entire week of punishment, it all felt too short. My satisfaction did not last that long. She walks for the door and I reach for the handle, opening it and bowing my head as I offer her bread and chocolate for the inconvenience. I close the door and watch her shadow pass through my window into the alley as I ready the dustpan and broom. It's Monday now, and the dust and the ashes and the dust and the ashes and the costume dusting day, it is time to dust. That was long, sorry.
You made it though. You made it. And I love it. I always love that you read in both Spanish and English. You know, I think that's important. So I'm like, the stage is yours for sure. And I can't wait for you to revive those in October, November. And you got to get that published as well. I love the vibes of your room. You got the Ouija board, the skeleton, the skull, but then like you lift the camera up and you got these cute plushies behind you too.
Oh yeah, I have my
Great.
plushies.
That's a perfect combination. But yeah, cool story. And it's really quick for people watching. Share your social media so you can, so people can follow you if they aren't already.
So you can follow me on Instagram, and it is cadáveres-literarios. I'll put it on the chat as well in the case that you need that spelled out. And you can also follow me on Facebook on Lee Martinez Soto or Lee MS.
Right on. As always, a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. And as always, providing the awesome links too in the Zoom chat. Really important job. Yeah, I like how this is like a community of people helping each other out. Like usually when like someone mentions something, like Lee goes and finds it and drops a link. And like I said, Kit always like puts the timestamps. So it takes a village, right? So we got more people, more amazing writers and poets coming up. Next up, we have a powerhouse who's been joining us now for a good streak, and I'm always happy to hear what he has to bring, because I always learn something. You know, as a Chicano, self-identifying Chicano myself, I always like where he's coming from and what he has to say. We have Mr. Tesosomok coming from Los Angeles. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
All right, so I wanted to tell everybody that I think I finished a very large piece, and I was gonna drop the link for you guys to peruse when you guys had free time. And it was a lot of work, but I felt like I needed to get it out. I think it was the piece that I presented to you guys last week, the one about physical distancing, and I finished the video work on it, and I think Richie saw it in the morning, so maybe you could give people a preview of what your thoughts were on it, Richie.
Oh yeah, man, it's really cool. You can find that on Gashes, right? 2019. That's the page.
No, I put it on the chat right now.
So you sent me the YouTube link. That's right. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the PowerPoint slide thing.
Yeah. And so it was really talking about contrasting, you know, that we are framing the topic of social distancing in a negative frame rather than the way other countries are doing it, where we're talking about healthy distance in Mexico, distancia saludable, and then, you know, talking about physical distance, social closeness, and we have a negative frame of thought, which is social distancing as a kind of physical isolation from a social perspective, and I contrast that with the fact that we've been forced to social distance for many generations. So I want to share that with folks and say it was a lot of work. The research was a lot of work, and then just kind of stitching a whole idea together took a lot of work. And hopefully you folks can enjoy some of that. But I wanted to share two pieces. Let me get to my, all right. And this one, it made me think about my friend Kit. So it's titled Saguaro Death. Saguaros are the giant cactus trees in the Sonoran Desert. Had it not been for the smell, no one would have noticed the singular death of the giant saguaro. But the black bacterial necrosis had triggered an emphatic cycle of death amongst the other giant saguaros. The town decided to bury them with big giant earth-moving equipment into a mass grave pit, and no one cared what would happen to the American crestal perching palace. The white-winged dove might be overrun by the red-tailed hawk, that the elf owl would have to compete with the long-nosed bat for a resting hold. A native Sonoran Yaqui might miss the pulpy red seeds of the prickly fruit stirred over a flame to jam or aged into a syrupy wine of the prickly pear. And the thought did cross that there might remain fields full of ribbed skeletons, reminders of overgrazing, resort developments, and abounding bedroom communities. That the vulture, cactus wren, the javelinas, the desert cottontails, the coyotes and the wood rats and the shrews and the gambos quails might find themselves homeless, mirroring their human counterparts. That was one.
Yeah.
And let's see. So this is titled Unforgivable Sardines. We eat Solmex sardines because the cow's milk is desiccate. We eat sardines packed in brazen, symmetrical oval coffins, sardines stowed in blood sauce, because the fields are bone dry. The bean binds have dried along with the corn stalks in our stomachs, empty, fallow as the field where the dog looks edible and the wind-blown dust burns flesh around the neck. We eat sardines, Solmex sardines with their yellow metal taste. Here we sit around the table, not able to admit the delirium from the bean soup disenthrall and the suffocation of incendiary gas. The aftertaste of sardines lasts for days, beyond lost relationships, beyond the etiquette of good taste, the beliefs of proper hygiene. But mostly we eat Solmex sardines not to forget that on the days when the bean soup pot runs dry, we have eaten. Okay, how many of you have eaten Solmex sardines? Where's that show of hands? Come on. And then I'll do another short one if that's okay, Richie.
Gotcha.
This is titled Mi General. We are gathered together in front of this adobe wall where the public is separated from our areas. My fellow soldiers have not abandoned me in the moment of disgrace. I have, let me zoom in because I can't read. Yet it was me who landed them at the chrism door of hell, I'm too tired, too shameful to look at their hollow eyes. I have failed them as their leader. I have fallen like Cuauhtemoc. I have let them down. We will die in shame, disgraced by our hunger and weakness as soldiers. But it's all my fault. I let them down. It was me, only me. Mi general, I beseech you, please do not kill these soldiers. Do not let them die in shame. Mi general, I beg you, mi general, it's only I that should die. Please, mi general, please listen. I will tell you why Juan and the others are innocent. Please, mi general. It was not then that them who rumored talk of the small black burrito as we came down the Ameria River. Mi general, there was very little to eat, as you saw. You told us we could not shoot hare or deer or squirrels for danger of being discovered. Mi general, these animals were fat. They could have kept our troops strong. There were no more capulines or moritas, only pale red clay water from the north. Mi general, I could taste the grit for days. Mi general, my men were hungry and I felt that I owed it to them. They started to shoot huilotas, doves, with homemade slingshots, but that was a problem because there was not enough salt and not enough huilotas. There was fighting within the men. I know we had to stop them, mi general. We even parted with our precious sniffing dogs, even the one you liked the most, El Cuervo. El Cuervo was your favorite, mi general. He was a beautiful dog, mi general. We continued south along the Ameria River. We could not even catch frogs. We were too weak and there were not enough. Mi general, at the last hamlet, we stopped. We fed the village people the small amount of corn we had. They were dying, mi general. This was a war. This war is killing them, killing us. Mi general, you remember the day we had to kill Epifanio? He was hallucinating. He wanted to kill you. He screamed that you were a dictator, no worse than the one we were fighting. Mi general, this brought the troop morale down. They were sad to see one of their own die, mi general. I counseled you that we had to do something. You told us we had to endure, that our ancestors endured hunger and starvation on their way south. Mi general, we were tired. We tried very hard. Mi general, Juan was my best friend from youth. He was very ill and weak, and I just couldn't let him suffer. I had known his ama and his apa. They were my padrinos, my godparents. I remember the big bowls of birria my madrina used to make. She was always so happy and would let Juan play with me. We played pocitos with our clay marbles. Mi general, at one time we played all day. Juan made 100 pocitos for us to sink the lead color clay marbles that we had as children. Mi general, I could not let him suffer. He was ashamed to walk around because his pantalones de manta had holes on them. I lent him an extra pair that I had, for which you reprimanded me, contending I was playing favorites. I told you that he was my best friend. That was the least I owed to him. Mi general, Juan once saved me from the risen river that ran by our house. He went after me when the rains had poured and we had gone to play by the gully, unbeknown to us that the flash flood was going to follow. Him and I had just cut a cabrillo branch and were sampling wood for our next slingshot. Then and then, all of a sudden, mi general, the gully took me. Mi general, Juan never gave up on me. I was very grateful to him and I never have forgotten. Please, mi general, I'll tell you, mi general, it was not me who started all the talk about the black burrito. It was mine originally anyway. It was the only thing that I had owned. It was the only thing that my grandfather had left for me. Mi general, that little burrito had been good. It had been there for me. I loved that little black donkey. that carry the ammunition. Mi general, the men agreed that they would carry the ammunition after I told them to go ahead. I told them that I was the lead, that it was the least that I could do, and that I owed them more, that they had been good soldiers, mi general. You saw them, mi general. They were so happy, so grateful, and ready to continue this war. It was all me, mi general. Do not kill them. They had nothing to do with this, mi general. Just kill me. Kill. This will let me go in peace, mi general. Let them live in honor and good conscience, says mi general.
Yeah, man, right on. That took me back. It reminded me, my grandfather came from the Casas Grandes region in Mexico, and he wrote songs, and so he wrote a song about a burro. So I'm like, all right, man. So I have to ask. So you shared your YouTube video earlier, and people can find you online, Instagram Gashes 2019, right?
All right, I'll put it on the chat.
Cool. And one last thing, I always have to ask, because you come with the interesting backgrounds. Tell us about the painting you have as your Zoom background.
So this painting is actually a Chicano painter who has moved on. His name was Carlos Almares, and he's quintessential for painting these paintings that he grew up in my neighborhood. Yeah, Echo Park, which is where I grew up, and I found him later when I was in college, and his paintings, particularly this one here, which is of Echo Park, takes me back to hanging out in Echo Park, and he was a very famous painter, and I just really just kind of wanted to kind of highlight some of his work, and.
Yeah, I dig that. I think in the last couple of weeks we've had some people perform pieces that have been inspired by artists, by painters, by musicians. So again, I always like the confluence of the arts. So as always, Mr. Tesosomok, thank you for joining us. I'm glad you found your way towards this open mic.
Thank you.
So once again, welcome guys to another edition of the Stay at Home Open Mic. My name is Richie Marufo, your host. If you guys are watching right now, cheers. We got one. Cheers, everyone. Salute. We got a lot more amazing poets and writers and performers. So I'm gonna get them on. Starting with our next performer. I always introduce him as he's like one of our BWOMS heroes, along with Kit. There's some awesome stories of like people who take down the hecklers, and Nico always has one of my favorite stories of it. He's a former slam champ in El Paso. He's got a really cool podcast. And right now he's going to do his thing, guys. Let's go and welcome Nico Kim to the stage.
So I had to say this, Mr. Tezozomak. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the song "The General" by Dispatch, and that's really unclear. I don't like how that video looks. Did not mean to do that, but I'm trying to change which video is being used.
Oh, you got options. Okay, fancy.
Right. So, all right, better. So, good to see you as well, Lee. I love hearing your poetry. I'll be doing a Spanish poem because you've inspired me to do that, but not today. That'll be next time. So, Mr. Tezozomak, what I was going to say was there's a song by Dispatch, and the song is "The General," and it reminds me very much of the poem you just shared. I'm going to share a little bit of that, and then I'll get into the poetry. There was a decorated general with a heart of gold that likened him to all the stories he told of past battles won and lost and legends of old. A seasoned veteran of his own time. On the battlefield, he gained respectful fame with men and medals of every and tribes to his name. He grew a beard as soon as could to cover scars on his face, and always urged his men on. But on the eve of great battle with an infantry, a dream the old general tossed to sleep to wrestle with his meaning. He awoke from the night to tell what he had seen, and walked slowly out of his tent. All the men stood tall with their chests in the air, with the courage and the blood and a fire, and they stared, and there was a gray morning, and they all wondered how they would fare, till the old general told them to go home. Anyway, that's all I was gonna sing. But yeah, it's a dope song. I would definitely check it out. I really fucked it up, screwed it up. Sorry, we're live. So
It's okay. It's an all ages show. I
With
mean,
that,
20. Well, I don't even know what that means. It's
All
free,
ages.
all content. No
Yeah.
censorship, free expressions.
I'm picking that up. So with that, I've got like very short poems, but a couple few. So let's just dive into it. Straight lost and wasted. I thought the victory tasted bittersweet, or was it defeat? While I aimlessly walk the street, my eyes meet the middleman. Under the lamp of misguidance, I'd dent the pull if I had the strength, the 8th Street percussion pumping. I stop walking and start jumping to conclusions. My delusional concepts capture little attention. Need I mention my words are known between 2 birds in a bushel? I'd make it official, but what worth are words when they come from but what worth are words when they come from someone already wasted? The irony in that and messing up there. So the bittersweet victory I tasted was the win of another reader who'll either wrap themselves into my warped madness or believe my writing to be poor. And honestly, I don't know which was worse. I'm in a stupor. It's stupid, sure. This stud stumbling over sentences and chain link fences in a immense mess. I find stress amongst sundresses and the sundial, while whiling whimsically defiled by time. Sensitively, the grit in my teeth need dentistry for the history that will come from my grind. Minding nothing but my mind noting, holding on to the concept of self-preservation. I hold no reservation to kindness. Don't mind this mess I've created. It's blowback for my attempt at civility. It's just straight up apathy that my muscles atrophied, and now some rhapsody of insidious insistence distances myself even farther than my father's first lesson in physicality. Where's that beast mentality? My malady, absent of any abnormality, my morality mirroring some wholesome yet unholy motif. My teeth are rotting because I wrote off any attempt to treat myself healthily. So now health for me barely seems to be that terrible. Making a heaven from the unbearable, shareable content seems a fairy tale. And I'm no knight in shining armor. My demons are the scars on my knuckles. I'm a sucker for wanting them to have company. Supposedly it's the spouse of misery, and I'm no miser, nor none the wiser. The only wisdom I have is the observation that I've seen. In this world of humans, I am a fiend.
Damn, that line right there.
Thank you, man. Modest men often are the most odd. Lauding the law-abiding citizens, the denizens are of God. Moderating with might, I spit as he smites, despite the disposition of his light. In spite, I'll no longer fight, only refute the dispute against peace. The lesson not learned, forgotten, pieces of paper overlooked, an overbooked mind full of its biases. I see less when it's only focused on one page. Day by day, I'll saccade through the sacred texts of hate and anger. I'll wager my life and my smile to the experience, enduring with little adamant arrogance. I'll spare the pence and pennies. The penthouses are aplenty. I'll lust to live listlessly and modestly, because honestly, modest men often are the most odd. I really need to quit smoking. It's like affecting my voice.
Puff, 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 pass, man.
But with that, I moved to Illinois, speaking of smoking, because recreational use of marijuana was made legal in 2020. Not the only reason, but I like to chalk that up as one of the main reasons. But it's also home for me. And with that, this is a poem by I guess a Chicago legend, and his name is Carl Sandburg. And this is Chicago by Carl Sandburg, a cover poem. Hog butcher for the world, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads and the nation's freight handler. Stormy, husky, brawling, city of the big shoulders. They tell me you are wicked, and I believe them. For I've seen your painted women under the gas lamps luring the farm boys. And they tell me you are crooked, and I answer, yes, it is true. I've seen the gunmen kill and go free to kill again. And they tell me you are brutal, and my reply is, on the faces of women and children, I have seen the marks of wanton hunger. And having answered so, I turned once more to those who sneer at this, my city, and give them back the sneer and say to them, come and show me another city with lifted heads, singing, so proud to be alive, and coarse and strong and cunning, flinging magnetic curses amid the toil of piling job on job. Here is a tall, bold slugger set, vivid against the little soft cities, fierce as a dog with tongue lapping for action, cunning as savage, pitted against the wilderness, bareheaded, shoveling, wrecking, planning, building, breaking, rebuilding, under the smoke, dust all over his mouth, laughing with white teeth under the terrible burden of destiny, laughing as a young man laughs, laughing even as an ignorant fighter laughs who has never lost a battle, bragging and laughing that under his wrist is the pulse, and under his ribs is the heart of the people. Laughing the stormy, husky, brawling laughter of youth half naked, sweating, proud to be hog butcher, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroad and freight handler to the nation. Thank you, guys. So again, that was Chicago by Carl Sandburg. So yeah, check out the podcast. Psychedelic podcast, the psychedelic podcast. That's the psyche, like the mind, hyphen delic, like saying delicious, but without the OUS. Psychedelic podcast. Check us out. We're pretty awesome, and I'm just saying that because I like sucking my dick. So.
always, man. You gotta drop one of those, huh? Nico Kim in the house, without always coming with some cool energy, man. Some cool rhymes, rhythm. Drop your links in the chat. We'll put that over on the live chat. Once again, thanks for tuning in, everyone who's watching YouTube right now. And yeah, we got some cool shit, guys. Speaking of the cover poem, that's the sensation sweeping the nation, right? Kit's shout out to that, that we always give him credit for that. But I wanted to say that we are doing these writing themes, because oftentimes, and maybe it's not the case anymore, but back when we were doing poetry slams, people would write out the same pieces over and over and over again. And I'm such a victim of that. So in order to kind of just encourage fresh material, we're doing bi-weekly prompts every fortnight. So every 2 weeks, we introduce a new prompt. You guys are more than welcome to write about it or find a cover poem that touches on that subject. And so these last 2 weeks, we've been focusing on the theme of juxtaposition, which, in poetry is almost like anything, really. You could just that's just when two things compare against one another. The one for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to unveil it near the end of the show, but I'm just going to say that I got it from a line from a popular poet, former poet laureate. Wait, are they still poet? Okay, I'm not gonna give it away just yet, but there's this really cool line that I found, and that's gonna be like the prompt for the next 2 weeks. If you guys want to write something new, I encourage you guys to check it out. But of course, you're not required to write about a theme, and you're always encouraged to write past themes. So if you're barely hearing juxtaposition for the first time, and you're like, I like the way that sounds, and it makes you think of something, and you write something, bring it next week. Bring it in 3 weeks, whatever. The whole point is just to share what we're writing. Anyway, so yeah, Nico, appreciate it, man. Always coming with some good energy. And we got, man, I don't know. It's cool. She's been coming a couple times, and it's always, I'm not muted, right? Okay, no, I'm not. I'm always afraid that I say this whole thing and I'm accidentally muted the whole time, because I'll look at people reacting. I'm like, oh no, am I muted? But I don't know. One of my favorites, I mentioned how we're based out of El Paso, but one of the cool things that we've been able to do during this pandemic and doing online readings is connecting with people from everywhere. You're gonna see it here, right? We saw Mr. Tesosomok right now, and we got more coming up. In fact, our next performer, hometown Las Vegas, she was joining us, but now she's back in New York for school, right? And so it's cool to have her here in the house. We got Jenna Fleeson. Hi, how you doing, Jenna?
I'm all right. I'm so glad that I'm here. I really think the show should just end. Like Nico like did a whole ass mic drop. Like I think that's it. Like that was like really fire. But like I'm still gonna try. I have some new stuff for you guys. Yeah.
New shit.
So I have 3 poems and then 1 prose piece. I know I wrote prose. It's crazy. We'll see if you guys like it. Okay. So this first piece is called The Donkey. I haven't made my bed today. Maybe that's because I haven't brought myself to the point where I'm ready to wake up. Pinpoint the mistakes I make all the time when I'm awake because my head's found high in the clouds. Because I'm unable to stop dreaming. I wonder if this fairy tale will end with age and what diagnosis would be so severe that I might not see that. I lay awake in my bed, still asleep, starting to dream of a time where me and you lay close to each other's chests. A time where being with you isn't me just dreaming. You tell me you don't think that's healthy. And I spent so much time trying to write the most hurtful response to you because seeing you isn't a carrot I'll let you dangle above my sleeping head anymore. Because you remind me you don't have to be sleeping to be dreaming. And I wonder why being awake and away from you felt like my own perfectly crafted nightmare. Good night, you tell me. Yeah, okay, so that's the first one. This is the second one. It's an alliteration poem. I don't know if you guys have heard Harry Baker's pop or people poem. So it's the same alliteration, but with a little bit of a twist. Okay, this is called Proper Politician. People say I would make a proper politician helping the profound people with their particular political disputes. I wonder, would they care if I was a proper politician helping the Palestinians get their land back? Or is equality anti-Semitic? People ponder the political problems that proper politicians have in their offices. Would it be improper for me to expose their political purposes? Because the profound truth is that the politicians we have in office aren't proper politicians. They're only putting out their political opinions. They're practically political puppets of their particular political parties. Maybe that's why they don't participate in what we may pinpoint as the proper political positions for our proper politicians. Because any proper politician would never take the position of being anti-Palestinian. So, would I possibly make a proper politician? Precisely, I positively would. And this is the third one. It's called bagel eating. So I thought it was suiting because I'm back in New York. We eat a lot of bagels here. So it goes like this. Today I ate a bagel and thought of you. I wonder, why do you have a monopoly on the thoughts of mine during bagel eating? Clearly, I missed the whole of your personality, was unable to pinpoint the conniving. Just glad I got out before you smeared my reputation of what we could ever be. Never be. Okay, those were the poems. And now I have this prose piece for you. It's very different. Yeah, okay. This is the first time I ever wrote prose, so it's very new to me. I'm very accepting to feedback, suggestions, thoughts. I would like to get something like this published once. I think it's pretty great, but it's okay if you have differing opinions. So this is called Mango Salsa and Chocolate Covered Strawberries. Grocery shopping always reminds me of my father. Running through the aisles as a young girl and selecting my heart's desire to provide myself nourishment is the basis of my happiness, spearheaded by consumption. The amount of privilege I have to even enter such a location with nearly infinite options already for my disposal provides me with an unmatched sense of fulfillment. As I enter the store, I head to the rows upon rows of shopping carts and grab the first one held up by wheels I feel are compatible with my pace. After pushing it perpendicularly away from the origin it will eventually return to, we both enter the frigid store and stare ahead at the endless products that lay us. We grab 3 or 4 disposable plastic produce bags and place them at the top of the cart as if they were our children. The crinkling of the plastic bags give me such a rush as they expand with my hand inside of the bag. They make me contemplate deeply what we will choose to fill the spaces I have now created. Mangoes? My father asks. Yes, I say with a grin from ear to ear. Can we get strawberries too? My father responds by placing a plastic container of bright red organic strawberries in the cart. I continue throughout the store and I begin to select food that will complement the items we have already determined we would indefinitely purchase. As I grab for a big bag of tortilla chips, my father asks, "What for?" "If we chop up the mangoes, bell peppers, red onions, and use some of the lime we have at home, it'll be a yummy salsa," I propose to him. He smiles, to which I assume means he's on board with my new planned concoction. When we reach the aisle for baking, I grab the Nestle chocolate chips with various colors and piping bags, to which he doesn't respond. He is well aware of my fascination with chocolate-covered strawberries. As we begin to make our way back to the front of the store, I'm excited to bag all of our findings and take them home where they will be prepared. The cart stores enough food to sustain us for the next week or so, and I can't help but think of the musical aromas I will experience with my father through all of our meals to come. My father and I begin to empty the contents of our cart onto the conveyor belt, and we watch all of our hard work reach the hands of a woman whose name tag reads Helen. The lady behind the register is redheaded, tall, and toothpick thin. She's talented at her craft nonetheless. She merely looks up at us enough to muster a, "How are you doing today? Did you have trouble finding anything?" After we empty the contents of our cart, my dad looks up and says, "I'm doing all right, and everything was easy to find. How are you?" She doesn't answer as my father begins to flip his wallet open, taking out the card he plans to use to pay for our hours of hard work. Helen looks up and says, "Swipe now." My father does exactly as he is told, and then is met with such a snarky remark. "Sir, your card was declined. Do you have another method of payment?" Pure anxiety flooded my body. Slowly, the vision of my father chopping vegetables for our mango salsa became fuzzy, as I could no longer smell the melted chocolate that would be used to coat the strawberries. And the only clear image that could come to my mind was my father and I sitting along a curb with empty stomachs and rags on our bodies. I look up at the triple-digit total and see the panic on my father's face battling with the disgust on Helen's. I start to tear up as my father leans over and says, "Oh, this is my EBT card." I have no idea what those letters even mean, but Helen clarifies. "Oh, food stamps," she reveals to my unknowing self as well as the rest of the store. Now I had only heard of food stamps on TV shows, and they were for poor people who couldn't even buy a sandwich. How could we be given coupons to buy all the food we so desperately needed? And why hadn't my father told me? Had I known we were poor, I would have at least picked the vegetables that were on sale. I sit behind the cart in shock as Helen hands my dad our receipt. I think about how next time we shouldn't buy anything we want. I remind myself this will probably be the last time I have mango salsa and chocolate-covered strawberries as we shuffle the far too heavy shopping cart towards our.
Yeah. Dope. Damn, Jenna. Come busting out some promos like that. All right. All right.
I'm definitely going to try writing more. And if you guys have any thoughts or, suggestions or workshops or like any like creative stuff, I'm always down.
Cool. Yeah, we'll share those links for the Tumblewords workshop again on here. It's open for anyone. It's on Zoom. But damn, you inspired Phil, Mr. Midnight, to write a haiku after that piece. You heard it last week, so that's super cool. I think it inspired all of us. So really quick, Jenna. A lot of people haven't seen you, like new people here. How can they follow you or make friends with you online and all that?
Definitely. Okay, so poetry has been a little hectic getting back to New York, but I'm gonna have a more strict schedule. But I should be here on Mondays and New Year weekend. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Jenna's Poems with a Z at the end. That's where like all my like creative stuff is happening. Yes. Also, my boyfriend hosts an open mic on Wednesdays at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. It's called Broken Mic. If you guys want the link, you can just message me on Instagram and I'll send you the link. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I covered everything. Thank you guys all for.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah. A lot of us have hit up the broken mic. Yeah, we affectionately refer to as our sister mic. It's on Wednesdays. I gotta make it back there. Things have been so hectic. So like if you guys don't know, like I teach college classes and the semester just started and it's hectic. I got a lot of syllabus and course building and stuff. So once things settle down, I'm going to head back to that for sure. Cause it's a lot of fun.
Yes,
And yeah, Zach's such a fun host too.
yes, we love Zach.
It's fun to like step outside of the host seat. Cause I'm so used to it. Like it made me anxious the first time. I was like, what do I do? I just sit here and listen. Like,
Yeah. No, Zach always tells me hosting is very difficult. He was all like other open mics, like I practice what I'm going to say, like I'm listening to people I'm enjoying. I'm thinking of like funny, quirky jokes. But it's like he's like when I'm hosting, like I can't think, like I'm just like who's next, how much time has gone by, but like it's a really tough job. So thank you so much for creating a platform for us to do that. Really
appreciate it. Thank you, Jenna. Always happy when you can join us. And you got your Las Vegas poster, a little bit of home in New York. I dig it. Cool. Hopefully you can join us next week. Oh yeah, and stick around. Before you guys leave, I'm gonna unveil the new theme for the next 2 weeks. I'm a fan of it. But yeah. Thank you, Jenna. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and all right. So appreciate everyone for joining us. I want to give a shout out to let's see, we have Isaac Hernandez in the chat. Check out, if you're on Instagram, check out El Paso Creatives. They're relatively new on Instagram, but they're doing a great job of highlighting a lot of creative work that's being done in El Paso. In particular, like even stuff that I'm not aware of, like photographers and models. Like there's so much that goes into that. That's an art form in its own right. So check them out. And he's just starting to do podcasts as well, which you should check out. I think they've done like 3 episodes already, or getting ready for 3 episodes. So I just love what people get to do. Thank you guys. And really quick, so we're gonna bring up another fire performers in a group of 3. But really quick, since this is a platform, I do want to give a shout out to a project that's really important to me. So I'm going to share this screen really quick. Can you guys see this? Yeah? All right, hold on. I got lost here.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, cool. Sorry. I'm getting used to the whole screen sharing thing.
Don't worry about it.
So these are from some friends of mine. And of course you guys are familiar if you're from El Paso, Chismosa Press. They're getting ready to take submissions for their 3rd project. I've talked about him before, and Kit has talked about him before, and he has probably the 2nd copy with him. But they're getting ready September 1st to open up for submissions: poetry, short stories, art, photography, as well as other forms of literary experimentation. I really like the work that they're doing. So for the issue that they're putting together, they're specifically going to focus on themes of healing and really we've talked about it in the after party before, maybe a little bit on this show, but like the emotional navigational processes of sexual abuse trauma. Here in our town, a lot of people have been called out, and there's a lot of truth to be had, a lot of reckoning. And so I think this is really important. So this issue is going to center on survivors and their stories. And it's really important. Something we call restorative justice, something where you can take art and kind of understand something, claim. And so I think it's a really important project. It opens up September 1st, and the deadline, as you see there, is October 31st. They have their email submission for volume 3, chismosapress@gmail.com. I highly encourage you guys, if you have something to share it. You'll find some power in it. And so shout out to Chismosa Press. I totally respect both all the individuals involved in that. And I just wanted to give them a shout out and let you guys know about it. Cool. All right. So we good? All right. We're gonna continue. Like I said, this is an open mic of everything, anything. And Sharita always comes on like from time to time. It's always awesome to have her. Sharita's gonna share some comedy with us today. Let's make some noise. And by the way, feel free to unmute for her set. If you want to unmute, just as long as it's not crazy noise, and unmute and let's just enjoy what she has to say. Guys, welcome Sharita to the stage.
Hey, what's good? Hey, thank you for having me. As always, I'm always appreciative of being brought into a poetry forum because I don't write poetry, I write jokes. So that first joke, like, y'all hit me up with that juxtaposition. I had to look that up. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what that was. I was like, juxta what? I was like, it sounded like an entanglement. I was like, what? Yes, that's a position you do. That's a power move right during entanglement. You got to bring the why. You got to bring that big dick energy that Nico was talking about sucking his own dick. I was like, what? That's what it sounded like. That's a whole category. I was like, what? I was here for it. Then homegirl brought up with the chocolate covered strawberries, bro. My fat ass, I was ready to eat. I was like, huh? Y'all be deep in these streets, deep. And I'm over here like, oh my gosh, the EBT card. I remember those days. It's called OnlyFans now, so you ain't got to worry about swiping shit. What? $5. Put it on there. We're gonna have a smorgasbord. But then I was trying to figure out how the mango salsa and the chocolate covered strawberries go together. But girl, don't worry about it. I figured it out. I figured it out. That made my set better than talking what I was about to talk about. Because I'm over here all depressed about this online classroom. And y'all come over here talking about we having some like smorgasbords. I can't even say the word. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't say, but I'm gonna go back to school like tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So yeah, they hit me up with this whole, you gotta sit online with these kids. Ain't that your job? Your job. I don't want to sit there with them. I already went through the 9th grade and the 5th grade and whatever other grade that other one in. There's like 4 kids in here. And I'm sitting there running from computer to computer, trying to figure out like, okay, what subject is this one? Science? Oh yeah, something about rocks, geology. Then I go to the next one. She over there talking about, I'm in English class. I was like, oh, good luck, because I'm from New York. I speak New Yorican. I can't help you. I Spanish. Hola, mia papi. Yeah. Then my son over here right now. Y'all see my last name, Gonzalez, right? Y'all see it. My son over here talking about, I don't know no Spanish. What? What you mean you don't know no Spanish? That was your first language. He was like, yeah, but Mom, you speak it funny. How dare you? What you mean I speak it funny? They speak proper and you speak ghetto, like you speak straight hood, and we ain't take that class yet, Mom. We I was like, wow. That's how you go ahead, sister, really? That's how you go, okay. Well, do your homework then, Google it. Shoot, I'm okay. So then one of the teachers, I've been single for a while. So I was sitting there like, hey, he was like, how many kids you got? I was like, 4. How many kids you got? He was like 20. I was like, ooh, hold on. That's when I realized he wasn't flirting with me no more. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was misses in the background. But I should have known something was up because he had like towels folded in the back. I was like, guys don't fold towels. They just throw it on the floor. Okay, so I'm trying though. But online school, way different than online dating, because online school, if I don't want to hear what the teacher's saying, I just like, ooh, connectivity issues. I can't hear you. What you saying? Glitch, glitch, glitch. Close the screen, right? Online dating, it's like you open it up, you finally made it to the Zoom, and you like sitting in the waiting room. Please wait while the host invites you in. The host ain't invite me in. Where he at? Why you invite me to a Zoom and don't open the window? What happened to, all that stuff he was on the text? Fine, whatever. So I'm not dateable online. That's fine. I'm good. But at least I won't get no virus. Hey, right? That's how we do it in the streets. But yes, technology. That's like it's yo. Y'all remember that movie with Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock, right? Not Judge Dredd. It might have been Judge Dredd. I don't remember. That's how old the movie is. But when they had the VR headsets and that's how they was dating, and she over there talking about, you want to exchange bodily fluids? Who does that? We're not gonna be able to do that no more, y'all. Especially with the virus, the coronavirus. My daughter, she called it the cough cough. So every time I sit there and have a snivel or I cough by accident, she over there talking about, you got the Rona? You got the cough cough? I pay the bills in the house. You need me. You can't just out me. This is the part. You're not gonna kick me out. What's wrong with you? So what if I got the cough cough? I got it from your cooties. That's where I got it from. Kids, man. Talk about don't forget to wear your mask and wash your hands. Wash all of it, okay? All of it. That means your hands, your face, your ass. Wash all of it. Just kids over here talking about how come we not going outside? I'm like, go in the backyard and run around a couple times and lose some weight. Leave me alone. So gym on the how y'all got gym on the computer? What? They got gym on the computer, y'all. They over here talking about we gonna stretch. I was like, me too. I'm gonna stretch my ass back in my bed. He's just like, ma'am, your microphone's still on. We can hear you. Oh, no. I'm sorry. That's my time, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I appreciate the platform. Thank you again, Richie.
Sharita, yes, awesome. I love that set. That was hilarious. Where can people? I think a lot of people are seeing you for the first time. Where can they follow you and all that good stuff?
On IG, but let me. See, I can't even use the computer. There you go. I had it pre-typed and everything. So I'm on IG, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, right here. My name is Sharita Gonzalez. You find me all over the platforms. So Thank you again. Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Sharita. And also, I've heard you've been going to Tumble Words too. That's awesome. Yes,
Donna's been inviting me, so I try to come. And I promise you, like I said, I enjoy being invited to y'all poetry sets, but it's really hard being a comedian. We're supposed to make y'all haha. And then like y'all had one girl in there, she was crying. And I was like, oh, y'all want me to go after her? It was hard. It's hard. But it's helping me with my writing. Donna doesn't care. She just wants me there.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. Always. Thank you, Sharita. Awesome. Yeah, give more round of applause since you guys are here and unmuted. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Beautiful. I love comedy like that. All right, so I'm just gonna keep going, guys. We got Kit running out. You've heard his name dropped a couple times today, and I'm just gonna let him do his thing, guys. We got Kit. Welcome, man. Welcome.
Yeah.
100% attendance.
Still going strong. My reputation even precedes me. Oh man, this has been a really good. You watch yourself. But I do. I'm watching myself right now on the Zoom, Dan, and I'm gonna do something real quick. So hang on. Yeah. And Sharita was so good, I have to rearrange a couple things, so I don't appear to be replying to her. But let me start with what I'm going to start with. Shakespeare did not write his plays. Let me rephrase that so I don't sound crazy. Shakespeare did not write his plays down. There must have been some private jotting, but it was private. No scripts were given to the king's men, because if there were scripts, then anyone could do these plays. And with copyright still 200 years in the future, steps had to be taken against the theft and the degradation of the business empire of Shakespeare. Along the same line of thinking, I am scared that if I ever try to write about our friendships, curved and generous contours, they will disappear or get cheapened, coarsened, misunderstood, given in mass printings to middle schools for preteens to shout uncomprehendingly to their embarrassed parents. Loopy adaptations will send us to Munich, to Cairo, to Glens Falls, New York, never thinking of changing the mild Dallas drawl. And down on their luck, academics grasping for tenure or a place on an Amazon bookshelf will see our shadows in every new trend, appoint us founders of every new school, make us parents of every new subgenre, find confirmation in us of the things they already wanted to talk about. And speaking of confirmation bias, conspiracies will arise, claiming that I am actually my next door neighbor, or that you are the helpless patsy of a pointless cabal. So, as another poet must have said, screw it. Art promises a ticket to immortality, but it's more like a coupon for a tombstone. I see no reason for us to be cheap or to plan ahead. They'll learn nothing of us. I'll make absolutely sure of it. All right.
Poem. Kate, you know I love that poem.
Yeah, you busted out as soon as you were in. Yeah.
That was cool, man.
Oh, thank you. Okay, this one's shorter and also doesn't have a title because I leave the title for last. It's like the capstone on the pyramid. I am changing all of my drafted memoirs back into poems because too many of you know my business. I want the ritual of public confession, but I don't want you to know what I did. I am much more comfortable answering, what does this mean, than what happened next. I want this poem to rise from the ground like a monolith, not between us, but beside us, and for us to circle around it together, inspecting for the flaws that I have mistaken for nuance and character. Okay, this one does have a title. I'm about to submit it for a cash prize, fingers crossed. I call it The Reformation. And this is the one I rearranged because I didn't want to sound like I was being rude to Sharita. Sharita's cool. The comedians have renounced raunch and transphobia and hatred in general. They have seen their folly, they tell me. They credit me for their Damascene moment. They line up and say sorry and thank you, as if it is all one word, a chant for newly shaved Hare Krishnas. They have set up this event, the first of its kind post-pandemic, to prove their sincerity to me. One approaches the mic, and then another. They are all reading aloud from the same worn copy of Capitalism and Schizophrenia by Giles Deleuze. They pass the one copy between themselves as they all take their turn, going for exactly 7 minutes each. It has a used tag from a college bookstore, University of Vermont. Charlie the Catamount is just barely visible and smiling at me. Their faces as they perform are intense, and as the others sit and watch, they are rapt. One of them is taking notes. My companion and I retreat to the patio, and by his leave, I smoke my first cigarette in 2 years. One by one, the comedians follow me out, eager and pleading like seminary students. Is this better? Are we better now? Have we made up for our sins and our wayward lives? The truth is, I don't know. The truth is, I thought that I would always have to fight them about this. I began to think of it as a responsibility. And the truth is, I have a middle management bred paranoia about what it means when a responsibility is taken away. The truth is, I liked to fight against them so much that I didn't give a thought to what victory would look like. The truth is, I confess with the one with the notebook, I haven't read very much theory.
Yeah.
I like that one. I like switching it around.
Suck. Damn, you're so good, Kit. I love you.
Love you too, Nico. And I'm going to read now from something that was published last year in Chismosa Press, Volume 2. As you saw, they are going to open their submissions next week. The two co-founders, Rachel Cachete and Jessica Castro, I would trust them with a newborn baby. I would trust them with anything. And I look forward to y'all submitting and for us to become ink cousins in a way, because they put me in volume 2. This one's called Research and Fact Checking. I turn in my thoughts to the young woman in North Carolina who got someone else's words tattooed on her forearm. No sin in a vacuum. In fact, a commonplace occurrence. But she claimed the words as her own. When she came across a certain poem, she really liked the phrase, something about spitting teeth into a sink. She took to it. She thought it was a metaphor. It became a metaphor in her submission and under her skin. But like a toy collector, she kept it in its original packaging, which made it easy for the presumably veneered original poet to note and prosecute the theft. In the interest of full disclosure, I too have had a recent incident involving the literal spitting of a broken tooth into a functioning but not pristine sink. But that was my own fault. The cresting of a new century of bad habits. So it doesn't have the emotional resonance that I need for it to be useful imagery. I'm sure you agree. I have some brotherly advice for the young woman from North Carolina. If you must steal, if you cannot refrain from it, choose something more useful than trauma to take. I don't know, take a bicycle. Take something you can enjoy. Go to the Target, to the large canisters of jelly beans, proprietary, impossibly literal flavors, Dr. Pepper jelly beans, recursive sins dreamed by the candy floss devil. Slowly trigger the release lever and let between 8 and 12 lumps of sugar fall noiselessly into your hand and shove them down your gullet like the contraband they technically are. Repeat as needed. I go to the Target now and I see the jelly beans in their unsatisfactory plastic packaging of at an eyeball guess about 2.5 servings. And I know that I have made a difference in the world. But I had to leave that life behind me. I reached a breaking point and then a broken point. And then the swell in my heart for my bite-sized theft migrated to my gums. I'm sorry for making this about myself, young woman from North Carolina, and I want you to please believe me when I say that I mean no harm. I am not here to quote tweet you dismissively for street cred, to push down on the social media Skinner box for my treat. But if you're really intent on spitting teeth, and if you now share everyone else's distrust of you around metaphor, follow the path I have paved. We'll have you in the big chair soon enough, under the eyes of a paternal and forgiving dentist, scraping the rot off the way that prayer is supposed to. And one last thing, and then I'm out of your hair. For this week at least, and indeed at most. I have a cover poem. Last week I read it. I have a cover poem. Let's see. Last week I read a Timothy Donnelly. This is a different Timothy Donnelly because a lot of my writing process is like pretending that I'm Timothy Donnelly. It hasn't worked yet, but it'll work eventually. It'll work eventually. I'm convinced of it. This is Diet Mountain Dew by Timothy Donnelly. I have built my ship of death, and when the wind kicks up, I'll cut it loose to do its thing across an unnamed lake of you. A firefly scent pulsing through the nonstop estivation of the verses of our South, who in its larval phase would feast on bitter worms and snails, who emerges from its mud chamber, our planet's most efficient luminescence, who turns chemical energy into radiant energy, shedding very little heat. So I will sail the compass of you, pleased with my cold light. I have built my ship of death aglow in sturdy chemicals and powered up at night like American Express. I'm all customer service, only minus the customer. No service to speak of other than death. You will know my logo by its absence and slogan from the past ad for the sugared style of you on TV in my youth. It goes like this: when my thirst is at its worst, and then I let it trail off into the unsayable. Or is it just unsaid because my mouth is full of you again? A green like no other green in the dale, indelicate green or green indecent, surpassing the fern and sprout in April's optimistic leaflet. Some stop to admire in nature. They take photographs, non-cognizant of other vehicles. You are too green for pasture. You are my green oncoming vehicle, usurper of green, assassin to the grasshopper and its plan. I put me in your path, which is the path a planet takes when it means to destroy another. I think you know I'm okay with that. A green like no other green, resplendent in production since 1940, when brothers Barney and Allie Hartman cooked it up in Tennessee, qua private mixer named after moonshine. Its formula then revised by Bill Bridgeforth of the Tri-City Beverage Corp. in 1958. Year Linwood Burton, chemically inclined entrepreneur and ship cleaning service owner, sold his formula for a relatively safe maritime solvent to Procter & Gamble of Ohio, who went on to market it under the name of Mr. Clean, whose green approaches yours, then at the last second swerves into a joke yellow plays on green to make blue jealous till it blows up in its face. But I can't not love the smell of it, citrus reimagined by an extraterrestrial lizard, which is to say inhuman in the way you say inhuman to me, a compliment unraveled in the drawl. Hey, you over there, you look so unaccustomed to temporality, I would have sworn you were inhuman. And time for it after time I fall. Further evidence of my humanity. I am at heart no less susceptible to rot than the felt hat on the head of the rifle-toting barefoot hillbilly, your mascot, until he disappeared in 1969. Instinct says he must have shot himself in the woods, in the mouth, one sunrise when the frost was at hand and the apples fell thick, and he was way too awake when he did so, not to think there would be another waiting like a can of you in the 12-pack in my refrigerator. I have built my ship of death, and enough already. Every toxic sip of you, preparing for the journey to bloviation. I leave to return and return to depart again, the stronger for a satisfaction being bound to no port has afforded me. I have built my ship of death so that even when I crawl back into the hold of it, alive is what unnaturalness in you can keep me. It's only to emerge from the other end of it intact and perfectly prepared to be your grasshopper.
There you go, man. Man, reading some TD at the place to be. Oh yeah, man. So really quick, for people who are like are seeing you and Dan the Man are like a foot like on a race for 100% attendance. And so people have been watching this show. I already know all this stuff, but like if people want to follow you, how can they do that?
For the people in the back, Instagram at Kit Renaway, Twitter at Kit Talk Sports. We've been a little bit more on topic the last couple of weeks because there's been basketball. Let's see, Facebook at Not Evil Sun Cult. It's just a fun little excursion into all caps. Facebook at my name because that's where I am. I have a Goodreads account where it's just book reviews. Search for me there. I'm trying to speed through the Man Booker long list before it becomes a short list.
Christine, Patty.
But yeah. Yeah, also that mysterious murmuring in the background.
That was awesome. Dan reading out loud for some reason. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
You're good. You're good, dude. You're good, dude. All right. Well, and let's see. I've also been coming to the Broken Mic on Wednesdays a lot. I will vouch for everyone that comes there. We have Jenna and Michael Sindler. I also recognize from those here tonight.
We had a Domo Beth.
Dominique came a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we have like a cool little talent exchange going on. It's really fun to see. It's like the lone little bit of sunlight in this otherwise really bad and dumb situation. I haven't been anywhere except the dentist's office and the grocery store since March, and it's beginning to wear on me. And I'm so grateful for this outlet and for all the other outlets that have kind of sprung up too.
All right, man. I see you got your beer there. Really quick, let's do one of these. I know you got your beer.
Can check. This is Rogue.
Rogue, I got the 7K IPA because I mentioned last time I like how it rhymes. The Santa Fe 7K IPA. Here you go.
I got
Right on.
Kool-Aid. I got Kool-Aid. Hold up.
Yeah, we'll do a group cheers to everyone. If you just put it up to your camera. Boom. Salute, everyone. Yeah, I don't know. It's always just nice to sit back with a drink and listen to everybody do their thing. Yeah, definitely check out Broken Mike. I'm gonna make an effort to make it more. There's a lot of stuff, and honestly, I want to give a shout out. Phil is in the house. Phil's like been hitting up everything, and I respect. You know what? We got to do a podcast. Phil, hit me up. I got the podcast room right here. We'll do it virtually. But you mentioned them right now. We got to keep going because there's a lot of people signed up tonight. We have Michael Sindler joining us from Denver, Colorado. He was here last week, and Kit mentioned him right now. So Michael, are you still with us? Let's see. Yes, you are. Welcome, man. You got to unmute yourself really quick.
Sure. Hey.
There you are.
Yeah, I totally agree with Kit, man. This is like having this community is a really cool thing. I enjoy having that. Let me just start with something. Speaking of community, this is just something I wrote for a friend of mine who's an absolutely amazing artist. It's called The Enabler of Transformation for Robert Saunders. He picks up lost items from the streets, gloves flattened by traffic left to weather, small glimmering objects and cast off remains, baubles and trinkets, marbles and machinery, strange things lost amongst the scenery. Nothing the average eye would recognize as treasures. Much like the magpie or bowerbird, he ferrets about, collecting, then brings his finds back to his nest. At home, he arranges, stacking glove upon glove in patterns of color, thickness, and texture, forming pyramids or grids or circles of glass and metal, stone and bone, ribbons of rubber tread woven like baskets, all transformed into concrete poems. Were these materials meant to find this fate? Did mechanisms of magic bring them into his path to undergo alchemical rebirth? Did they wait their time, knowing he would pluck them from asphalt, concrete, or bare earth? Did they sing across distances to each other, knowing somehow, sometime, somewhere, they would come together? Did they know that only this artist and collector could give meaning to their new connection? That only he could create new life, transubstantiated from the world's rejected, lost, and unloved scraps, its underrated artifacts? Is it possible that they could guess that he alone could make the world a place a little more poetic, more infused with an aesthetic understanding by his handling and rearranging and renaming of the simplest elements with respect and love and the gift of balance? The question remains among the evidence. Okay, seeing how everybody's been doing all this, everybody's been getting into doing some crows. I was whipping out something earlier today, working to this prompt thing that I thought was a free class, but then when you stick it in there to submit, they're like, oh yeah, well, if you want to actually, get some feedback on it, you got to throw us some bucks. I'm like, oh, what the hell? So I was going to call a friend of mine and say, hey, what do you think of this? And then I was like, oh no, it's time for Nuyo. So it was open mic time, and so didn't get to have any feedback. So I'm just going to read it for y'all. So like I say, I just wrote this a couple hours ago. It's called That's What Brothers Do. Danny wanted some dinner, something good like his mama used to make. You remember her ladling up her famous slaw, thick with mayo, the green cabbage contrasting with the grated carrot. He could never resist eating his portion and Jody's too, tricking her into trading it for something he'd promised to give later but never did. One time he promised her a pair of gold rings, but all she got was the paper bands he stole from round Uncle Henry's cigars. The memory of her poor little face all tightened up and wanting to explode, but refusing to cry made him feel a little pang in the middle of his rib cage. She clawed at him like a tiger, but he just pushed her away with a laugh. It was a filthy trick, but that's what brothers do to little sisters. That's what he'd done to his, thinking he was just being funny, not realizing he was being cruel, not thinking about ever making it up to her. Thinking about Jody now, he forgot about his hunger. All he could see in his mind was her inside the iron lung, pretending not to be scared while the bellows hissed and wheezed. Seeing her little frame so skinny a crow wouldn't bother to come pick at it if it was lying on the ground. A little stick figure replacement for the pretty little girl Daddy used to put up on the table right in the middle of a card game and crow to his buddies how she was going to be the most beautiful girl in the county. After she fell sick, Daddy never crowed about anything, never cracked a smile, never left her side during the hours he had between shifts, falling asleep in the chair until Mama shook him up when she took his place. Danny sat in that room too, staring at his poor little sister, wishing he could take back all the bad things he'd done. But there were no take backs and nothing to do to help her or his parents, whose overwhelming grief scared him even more than the iron lung machine. Even now, hearing the whirring sound of a refrigerator or some other appliance, he'd get confused for a minute and think he was back in that awful room in that awful hospital where the most awful thing ever happened, where his family cracked and never really got fixed. No, he wasn't hungry anymore. Not for slaw, not for nothing. He walked down to the store, bought a cigar just like the ones Uncle Henry used to smoke, and sat on the bench at the bus stop. Sorry, folks. A mother walked by with her little girl. Danny motioned him over, took the band off the cigar, and gently put it on the little girl's finger. Both mother and child smiled until they saw the tears start to streak down Danny's face. Mother steered the child away. Danny was sure they thought he was crazy. The bus rolled up and Danny stepped on board. It was a 15-minute ride to the hospital where his daughter was resting after having given birth to a daughter she'd already named Jody. He knew in his bones she was going to be the most beautiful girl in the county. And just so I don't leave you on such a downer, this one's called Durga. It's sort of a memory. Humble wooden temple, suspended over still water at end of steep downward path towards boulders of granite above the bank, huge cushions of stone from whence I gaze as insects gambol across skin of reflecting pond. Dragonflies weave air into patterns, cattail sentries rim perimeter. Cross the bridge, smell the walls, redolent of camphor and sandalwood, stained plywood blackened over time by wave puja lamps, black as Mother Durga, her bright clothes, perfume powders, replenished flowers, overripe fruits, traded daily to timeless tune of Sanskrit slokas. Hush grove, deer hide in silence, kneeling in underbrush, awaiting my retreat. Bare feet backtracking over worn mossy path, through familiar woods, into cow field, past sacred bull who catches tossed apples in teeth, passing through great gate towards white clapboard warm retreat. Quiet water stirrings in shrubs, hesitant advances across grasses. See them come, sniffing, sensing safety and sanctity. All creatures, congregants of forest folds, truest choir, residents of ritual. I've been and seen and sung. I've longed and loved. I will return over and over in space, in time, in mind, always suspended between place and prayer. Thank you.
Yeah, right on, Michael. Always appreciate it, man. Glad you've been 2 weeks in a row. You got your awesome art behind you. And really quick, last week you mentioned this other project that you have on Wednesdays, like a play, like readings of plays, right? Or scripts.
There's a group here in Denver called Ruddy Duck Theater, and it's just ruddyducktheater.com, and theater is spelled the European way, TRE instead of TER. So it's just ruddyducktheater.com, and yeah, you can just send them an email, and they'll send you a link. And basically, it's just local playwrights. There's a group of us, and we perform each other's things. It's a little Zoom thing, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, that's something I'm doing these days.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
awesome.
So
Oh, what's
I can't be the only one with what's in the background.
oh is
just my
artwork?
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just my stuff.
Well, tell us a little bit about it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, how long have you been painting? Yeah, like last week we asked, but yeah, how long have you been painting? And if there's some interesting things for sure.
How long have I been painting? Jesus Christ, 50 something years, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, long time. Haven't done it for the last several years, though. I sort of really just focus on my writing these days. But yeah, used to paint a lot.
Yeah, I like the style.
Oh.
Yeah, my studio, like I wish I could give you guys a virtual tour, but like it's like a whole like warehouse style building. There's art all over the place. It's super fun. I mean, yeah, I've got some art behind me, but like I'm
Is
gonna
that
maybe.
where we recorded?
What's that?
Is that where we recorded being a writer?
Oh, a long time ago, man. Before this room wasn't even painted. Like now we got these cool like cosmic nebula like walls painted. But yeah, when you recorded that, it was like a bare room. I've improved it a lot. So you got to come back again and record. In fact, this is a really good segue because I do, to me, I want to highlight all our awesome writers and poets. And there's things like Bun Poetry and Right About Now, and they have a really good platform, and we're not quite there, but I still want to like try and get people heard. And so I've been recording poets here in this room. I've got some really nice mics, really good equipment. I've been learning audio engineering. Come visit me, talk to me. I'll record like 2 or 3 poems for free, just so we can get your stuff out there. I've been recording video, and I'm going to be showcasing it on our Instagram, El Paso BWOMS, so you guys can check that out. But please, yeah, hit me up, and I'll record your poetry for free. Also, I've recorded like full-on poetry albums. I'll see if I can find a link so you guys can listen to it. But yeah, this is totally a cool spot to create, and I want you guys to be part of it. Cool. Yes. Thank you, Michael. As always, appreciate you for joining us. I love the art, that spawned this little convo. But we're going to continue, get back into some music. You've seen her here before. She's like performed a little bit of everything. She's read some of her prose. She's played the piano, guitar. She's played the vuvuzela, the kazoo, the mouth harp. But tonight she's going to share some more music. We have Christine Ponce Diaz. Okay, I made some of those last things up. Well, let's.
Hi, Richie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Your volume's low already.
Okay.
But just so you can talk, because I think you had the original sound on already, huh?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I'll just try to like project a little more.
Yeah. I mean, you're an opera singer. It shouldn't be a problem.
I know, right?
So what do you have for us today?
It's called Mar y Soledad by Natalia Lafourcade, but it's
Yes.
like a little different version because the one that she does is more of like with a trio and it's beautiful. But I was feeling it like in a different way. So I mean, I just wanted to do something different with it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Do your thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Christine Ponce Diaz to the stage. Wait, did you turn on the original sound again?
Let's see.
I know. I got to be a slicker for it so we can get like the full effect. There you go.
It's on enable. The original sound is
Play a little bit more.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, you can hear?
Do your thing, yeah.
Cool. Okay. En el canto de las olas encontré un rumor de luz. Por un canto de gaviotas supe que ahí estabas tú. Despidiendo últimamente todo lo que sucedió. Hoy saludo a mi presente, gusto de este dulce adiós. Voy a navegar en tu puerto azul. Quisiera saber de dónde vienes tú. Y vamos a dejar que el tiempo pare y ver nuestros recuerdos en los mares. Y esta soledad tan profunda en el canto de las olas me quisiera sumergir, embriagándome en su aroma, algo nuevo descubrir. Voy a navegar en tu puerto azul. Quisiera saber de dónde vienes tú. Vamos a dejar que el tiempo pare, ver nuestros recuerdos en los mares. Y esta soledad tan profunda que me cante el mar, un bolero de soledad. Que me cante el mar, que ando sola con soledad. Que me cante el mar, un bolero de soledad. Que me cante el mar, que ando sola con soledad. Soledad y
Damn. Christine, that was awesome, man. I think we all drifted off to beautiful places, during that. What I don't know what to say. You started school today, you're doing voice. We're gonna try and get you a really cool spot to do your recital this semester, okay? So so stay tuned for that. We're working on it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we might. Yeah, we're working with Part the Pass to see if we can do like a cool thing with, because the main room is really nice, and honestly, your voice would reverberate so well in that room. I think. So yeah, we gotta bring it up though. Like I mentioned, it's pretty busy lately. We got a book coming out and a beer, so it's gonna be a book release party and a beer release party. It's pretty cool stuff. But Christine, awesome as always. Tell us how, if people are watching right now, how can we follow you, befriend you, all that good stuff?
I'm on Facebook pretty often, so I think that's the best way to contact me and to connect. Christine Ponce Diaz. And I also have a few videos. I need to upload a couple more to YouTube, and it's also Christine Ponce Diaz. And so you can follow any videos that you might like or anything.
Oh, we will follow all the videos. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. I saw you have you have a mic there, right there with you.
Oh, the little mic? Yeah, look, it's this is Shure. It's a Shure mic. I haven't thought of a name for it, but for now it's called Shure.
It's a sure thing, and that's for sure.
It's just a little USB mic to help.
So before we move on to the next performer, you gotta perform like you said you have some stuff on YouTube. Phil's gonna make a custom alarm, okay? With you, okay? That's what I'm reading the chat right now. But yeah, lots of love as always. Thank you, Christine. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And to everyone watching on YouTube, I love you. If you're live, that's super cool. That's nice to have you drop in the chat. Say hi. Where are you listening from? If not, if you're watching this at a later date, just leave a comment below. Just leave a comment, and what else can I say? Subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell notification. When you do that, you'll be updated and alerted when we go live and when we post new material. I mentioned earlier that we're recording poets. I did a podcast with a local writer, Diana Lee Ortega. She's super cool. She's a roller derby girl. But more than that, she's got a lot of inspiring stories, and she has 2 books out now. Hold on, that was weird. 2 books. My fingers did a weird thing. 2 books out now, and you should check them out. My Derby Romance is the most recent one. You can read it. You can listen about it on episode 49 of the BWOMS podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. But we also recorded some of our poems. Come through, record your stuff. By the way, okay. Anyway, I'm trying not to be a commercial right now. We got another awesome poet that I always like to see make it out and perform. She's shy, but you know what? We just got to show her extra love. So we know, so she knows that we appreciate her and what she's doing. So guys, make some noise and welcome. Next up, we got Patty O in the house. Don't you know?
Okay, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but can't really see you. You're cut off with the light.
We can hear you.
Hold up. There's a weird light in the back. Okay, better?
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Hold up. Okay.
Better.
Do.
That's
that's
do your thing. It's about the word. Do your words. Share your words.
I'm like, you really don't have to see me. It's cool. Okay, so this is all new shit. 3 poems. Just gonna go through them.
New shit.
Okay. I'm on first name basis with my anxiety now. It's the awkward one-night stand that tries to stay for breakfast and claims my sheets as its own. I believe in fairy tales because of her, because she's the only one who always manages to sweep me off my feet. And when I feel like I've had the same conversation with her, she reminds me of the new mistakes I made that day. If I failed to introduce her at the party, the tugging at my shoulder will never cease. I avoid carpooling because she demands to ride shotgun. When a man looks my way, she reminds me of my worth. I've avoided crowded areas because I need more room to lean on her. I don't stay out too long because she set the alarms on my phone. And as I'm writing this, she's trying to make the quiver in my hand skip the spacing between each word. She's never paid rent. She leaves the lights on at night. And because of her, I always wonder if I locked the door, even though I already checked it 1,000,000 times. But hey, what's 1,000,000 times and 1? Sometimes she gains the control of my conversation. She never breathes in between each word. When she's driving, we never stay in between the lanes. And my anxiety doesn't like the spotlight unless it's just me and her. She won't dance when the music plays. She won't smile when you say cheese. I don't remember ever allowing her to stay. And yet, now I wonder if I could ever truly live without her. Okay, first piece. Okay, I finally put a title to a poem. This one's called A Sarcastic Love Poem. Is it cheesy to say you make my heart flutter? Okay, I won't say it, but you do. I can't claim the butterflies as my own, for if I don't set them free, they soon too will become extinct. I won't say you make my heart flutter. That's the only thing my ex would ever say. He also said I love you far too soon. Did you take the hint? Should I mention the birds chirping? With me, you'll never make it to breakfast. In fact, I threw my shoe out the window. Now the bird flies with a limp. You tickle my feet for far too long, but I always crave your touches. And although the sweat from my hand is slightly gross, I'll keep on holding on to yours. I won't call you baby. I won't call you sugar bear. My teeth are far too sensitive. I won't say I need you. Okay, I really do. I drew hearts around your name, but I used the ink of a black pen. Do I see a future? Yes, if global warming wasn't a thing. So hopefully you get the message of how you kind of mean something to me. Because in the morning when you first wake, I really hope you brush your teeth. And last one, and this one's entitled Sexual Harassment. Okay. And somehow when I moved the falling hairs from my face, that was an invitation for your hand to lower on my back. When I turned my hips to walk, the stride alone made you believe my legs were yours. When my lips curved to form the word no, you heard instead the instructions to a game that I never asked to play. You never saw the tears in my eyes as I clutched onto my keys and fears of walking alone. I changed the way my clothes hung from my body. They no longer hugged the form of my silhouette, for I started to believe it was me and not you. I started to believe that I was the problem, that I had given you an unspoken permission to claim me as your own. And instead of saying your name out loud, I told myself to hush. When I turned the corner, I would always be met by your eyes undressing the 7 layers of clothing I had. The drool from your lips creating puddles beneath your feet. And every time I told myself how much I was to blame. That maybe if the curl of my hair didn't point to you, maybe if the wing of my eyeliner didn't want to make you fly towards me, maybe if I didn't apply the color to my cheeks, then you couldn't see me. Maybe if I hadn't, maybe if I didn't. Why am I not screaming? Why am I blaming myself? Sexual harassment is funny like that. It happens all the time. They say that to make you feel better. Hold on. Let me say that one more time. Sexual harassment happens all the time. And that's it.
Yeah. Man, Patty, what a group of poems there. Yeah, that last one. Hey, you should submit that one to Chismosa Press on September 1st.
Yeah, I saw the link, so I'm actually gonna tweak it a little bit more.
Cool.
Add a little more, and then yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for being part of this as always. I know your computer is going through some tough times, but you made it work with your phone. So
yeah, I drowned my computer with water. FYI, keep the water away from the computer.
Oh, that's not the worst part. Back in the day when we were doing poetry slams, I would take my laptop and I was like MC/DJ and I spilled beer all over my laptop and it stopped working. It was the worst thing. I actually had to buy these things, the wireless ones to make it work, which you shouldn't have to do, but
yeah, that shit sucks.
But you know what though? You made it tonight. It happened. We heard you. We heard you. Yo, everyone make some noise for Patty.
Thank you.
Yeah, Patty.
Cool. All right, guys. Open mic. Oh, hold on. I gotta cancel the spotlight video. Oh, actually, you gotta. So I always call out everyone's pets. You got a plant behind you. Do you have a name for your plant? Sorry.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yo, that shit is dead. That's a fake plant. I can't keep
Oh,
things alive.
no.
It has
Oh,
no
no.
name. Yeah, it has no name.
She has beautiful dogs though. I don't know. I'm gonna all right. Thank you, Patty. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I don't know what that was. I was like, oh, the screen's still on you. Oh, look, there's a plant. Let me point that out. It's dead. All right, fine. Damn.
Okay, yeah.
That's an MC.
Yeah, I don't need that much credit. Thank you.
It's good. It's cool. It's all good. We're here. We're making it happen. Go Patty. That's right. Donna, by the way, yeah, shout out to Donna Snyder. She couldn't make it tonight to perform, but she's watching on the chat. She's leaving some really nice comments for everyone. So Donna's just like, go Patty. Go Patty. Go Patty. Go Patty. All right. That's what she said to say. All right, we're gonna keep going. We have a good friend. He does so much. We have Amit. Amit, are you with us? I gotta make sure. All right, cool. Amit's gonna perform a little something. He hasn't been here in a couple weeks, but it's good to have him back. Let's get your video on and get you unmuted. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at the dead plant still. Is it dead if it was never alive?
I had a plant for like 2 days and then it died. I never opened the shades. I don't like sunlight, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
It's making this whole situation worse for me. I'm gonna go back to muting myself.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just waiting for Amit to join. I don't know if he can hear me. Amit, can you hear me? We might have to push him back a little bit. Because I know sometimes you start making food this time of night, and so we'll see if he's back in just a moment. But yeah. No, I appreciate it's cool. You know, like I said, Patty has some awesome, some beautiful dogs. Let's go ahead and move on then. Amit, we'll get him on later if he's back. But for the very first time, he's been here before. He's always on YouTube when we go live, and sometimes he joins the after party. He's gonna do something different. All right, guys. And so with these open mics, all I ask, let's keep an open mind. Let's see what's going on. Nico is gonna do a little performance for us. We have Nico Silva. Are you here with us, Nico? Let's see.
I am.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Do you want to just be a giant letter N or?
I could definitely start the video, but could you allow me to share content really fast?
Oh yes, we should have mentioned that earlier. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Let's see.
But let me see where my video is. Give me 1 second.
All right. 1, 2. All right. Just getting too much.
You'd think I'd have Zoom figured out by now.
It's okay. I've mentioned this before. So while you're doing that, I've mentioned this before. Like obviously we're all adapting. A lot of this is new to us. We don't know every single thing. So all I can ask is thank you for your patience. We're figuring it out, and that's the best we can do. And that's all we can offer is like our best. Like we're trying. We're not trying to intentionally be like, hold on, let me. So Phil in the house, by the way. Phil didn't sign up, but I mean, I don't know if we peer pressure him enough. Maybe he'll share something at the end.
I was working on a project, but
oh yeah, projects are cool. Well, I mean, if anything, you can just talk about some stuff you got going on. You don't have to perform. You can just talk about some cool stuff going on. But I'm just waiting for, and also I'm gonna see if Amanda. I gotta maybe send her the link. Maybe see if she'll make it. And then we have Dan, and I'll probably share a poem. Just to do it, everyone. This has been a fun night. I've always loved hearing everyone's shit. So, okay, Nico, how's it going over there? Have you found the video yet?
So I have the video up, but am I allowed to share content now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let me share content. Photos. Okay, so I wanted to show everyone. Give me one moment. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's white peach. I got white peaches from Costco. I took off the skin. I tried to take off the inside as much as possible. And then I blended it with a blender so that I can make bellinis tomorrow. So what I wanted to share is actually the video. So I have some concept paintings, old and new, that I've been thinking about. The one that you're seeing right now is basically a lot of red and orange and yellow. And I was just thinking about the surface of the sun, kind of like a sunspot or cold, or would anyone ever be cold on the sun? And for the juxtaposition writing, I don't know if you all can see this, or if it's sideways. Is it sideways, everyone?
It's sideways.
Okay, so I need to change it then?
I mean, we can still see it though.
Yeah, let me just change it.
You texted that phrase to me earlier. Yeah, we can still see it.
Yeah. So I have one of these things and it's just not working for me. Okay. So one of my best dreams was a nightmare. And I did this drawing during a make and craft session with a local nonprofit here, Borderland Rainbow Center. So one of my best dreams was a nightmare. I've been thinking about that actually, how life can be an eternal struggle for some people and for all people really, no matter what class, what race, all that things. But definitely we need to uplift all of our communities and all of the people that need help. But what I really wanted to show were just concept paintings and read something from a book that I have. So I can't really see that. Okay. So the book is entitled Criticizing Photographs, An Introduction to Understanding Images, third edition by Terry Barrett. This book is about reading and doing photography criticism so that you can better appreciate photographs by using critical processes. Unfortunately, we don't usually equate criticism with appreciation because in everyday language, the word criticism has negative connotations. It is used to refer to the act of making judgments, usually negative judgments, and the act of expressing disapproval. In mass media, critics are portrayed as judges of art. Reviewers in newspapers rate restaurants with stars, and critics on television rate movies with thumbs up or thumbs down, or from 1 to 10, constantly reinforcing judgmental aspects of criticism. Of all the words critics write, those most often quoted are judgments: the best play of the season, dazzling, brilliant. These words are highlighted in bold type in movie and theater ads because these words sell tickets. But they constitute only a few of the critics' total output of words, and they have been quoted out of context. These snippets have minimal value in helping us reach an understanding of a play or a movie. Critics are writers who like art and choose to spend their lives thinking and writing about it. Bell Hooks, a critic and scholar of African American cultural studies, writes this about writing. Seduced by the magic of words in childhood, I am still transported, carried away, writing and reading. Writing longhand, the first drafts of all my works, I read aloud to myself, performing the words to hear and feel them. I want to be certain I'm grappling with language in such a way that my words live and breathe, that they surface from a passionate place inside me. Christopher Knight, who has written art criticism, for the Los Angeles Times since 1989, left a successful career as a museum curator to write criticism precisely because he wanted to be closer to art. The reason I got interested in a career in art in the first place is to be around art and artists. I found that in museums, you spend most of your time around trustees and paperwork. Thank you.
Yeah, Nico. That was cool, man. Thanks for sharing that. I like the format. So really quick, I just got to give a shout out to Nico. He is the biggest supporter of the arts. If you go to an art show, to a gallery opening, to an event, you'll see him there. Like, honestly, like I know because I go all the time, and right away I'm like, oh, there's Nico. I knew it. You can count on him to be there, and he has so many prints, and I don't know, man. Just appreciate what you do, and I'm glad you performed for the first time. Damn.
Well, not on this one.
Zoom.
I did a micro poem and another poem. I think on like
You
the
did.
second,
That's
third,
right.
or fourth. Yeah.
That's right. You did do the micro poem, and also a little bit of BWOMS history. Back in the day, we've mentioned it before. We had a venue in downtown El Paso called the Rock House Cafe, right by Duranguito, and I remember Nico, you did like a super experimental. You did a super experimental performance of just noise. I don't know if you remember, man. Where you just
Yeah, definitely. So I really consider myself in the performance aspect, but you know, things get in the way and sometimes your mind gets in the way, but I definitely feel empowered. So thank you all for sharing your work, and Richie for doing all the work behind the scenes, on camera, all the stuff that goes into these kinds of events.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. Like I always say, you know, like what I do is nothing if nobody shows up. So it's all you guys, honestly. So it's cool to see what you guys are up to and what you're doing, and it's just nice. Like people said earlier, like kids said earlier, man. Without this, damn, I don't know where I'd be right now. But yeah, don't downplay your role. You gotta, yeah. I'm looking at the comments. Lee always has like fire comments. It's always just in the chat. Don't downplay your role. You bring us back. That's right. Me. Oh yeah. Anyway, whatever. Amit is with us. We found Amit. Amit, how are you doing today? Let me see. Let's get you on here. There you are. Yeah, let's get you unmuted.
Actually, I had fallen asleep, so I'm glad I woke up.
Yeah, I was calling you. I was like, Amit. But you're back, reinvigorated, in fact.
At least awake. All right, so I'm sorry I was not here last week. How did last week go? Pretty well, I suppose. So I'm going to read two things. First of all, shout out to Richie for all you do, Richie. Always. So the first one is a poem I'll read. I was told by Minerva this is coming out in Chrysalis, although I have not seen it. I don't know when it's going to come out. So this is called Goodbye, Good Night. We quickly bid goodbye, good night. The tension was already there. I broke it, enunciated the words, and she caught it like a sharp 30-yard pass. My hopes built expectations alone, wove enduring pictures of sharing moments, a yearn for closeness, poignant words, intimate touches, ephemeral, she said, to keep emotions out, her mind from her corazon. She wanted to be alone in a dark room, sin voices, phones, her pillows to hug, loneliness to caress. I even heard a sob that night, the first, her true face from the one outside. Leave, now, pronto, she said, I'll only disappoint you. The quiet rain on a stormy night, a casual reminder that life is a sea with ups and downs, from side to side, movements, never still, nunca. Do children see it before that way? Goodbye, good night. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so this one is a prose piece. I don't know how long, it's a little long. I hope it's not too long. I tried to edit it, didn't do very well, so I'm just going to read. It's a little choppy, so excuse me if it is. Okay, I don't have any title for it, so I guess it's without a title for now. The violence in Juarez had its peaks and valleys. During one of those times when things were quiet, Martin called me and invited me to visit. Things have quietened down, he said. To be fair, the TV stations had stopped reporting the news. CNN had gone silent and things seemed to have calmed down. I accepted his invite with excitement, but with trepidation. I had learned to love the place. Next to my adopted home, it reminded me of where I came from. I can't explain how I began to love a place that was linguistically and culturally so different from where I came from, but why it pulled at my heartstrings. It was the people I met there. I chose not to drive, but simply walk over the Santa Fe Bridge. It was 2 years that I had not been across. Barely 8 of a fall evening, and the city looked hazy as the fog had settled to make the streetlights look dimmer. Far fewer people than normal, and they looked like silhouettes. My shadow reminded me that I was in unfamiliar territory. Martin met me and we went to a bar a couple of blocks down on Benito Juarez. 2 lady friends of his joined us in mini faldas, glossy lips and smiles. "El habla español," he told them to put them at ease. When the beer arrived, he had nudged me into a conversation on El Paso Outlet Mall and UTEP. Afterwards, we walked towards his truck in an empty parking lot where a parquero flagged us off ceremoniously, thanking us jefes for the propina. I noticed that Mariscal, as I knew it, was no more. Friday nights used to hop here with cheap beers, pole dancing girls, and little rooms in the back for masajes completos. The super busy narrow streets had hollowed out where people looked for comfort and love. We drove south of the Mercado to his fraccionamiento, close to where the sign said La Biblia es la verdad. Although fear was still around me, I felt comfortable in his space. The truck, his small truck, rattled as we went along, and although it was dark, any shadow seemed to jump at me. When we got to his place, Martin disappeared into his quarters, and he left me in the kitchen with the two ladies, Irma and Josie, who were very curious about me. They started interviewing me, like, who are you? How long have you been in El Paso? What do you do there? Why don't you live here? It's nice and friendly. I just mumbled along, waiting for Martin to come by, and he was nowhere to be seen. Ultimately, Martin emerged and he told us that we are going to a wedding. I was completely taken by surprise since I was not invited and I didn't have any gifts. But Martin says, not to worry. This is the compadre, Benito's wedding. And since he was a compadre, I was invited. When we got into his truck, I chose not to sit in the inside, but sit in the flatbed outside to give the ladies more room. The truck went gently along Periférico Juan Gabriel, and in the street lights, I saw homes with bullet holes, broken windows, and shattered facades. Very few cars were plying that night, and when a military truck went by, I could see the automatic weapons of the soldiers as I stood in the back. A few minutes later, we were at the wedding. Mexican weddings have voladores and bizcochos and bucanans and tequila. Cumbia norteña played. Benito, Martin's friend, welcomed me to join the party. I wasn't a wedding crasher as I had feared. I had fun, danced a lot, and drank a fair bit. I kept drinking to get my liquid courage, and as the music changed, I was dragged into the dance floor by women in the group. And Martin warned me, never say no to a Mexican woman on a dance floor. Some engaged in conversations within their music. How are things in El Paso? As if it's a place very far away. They spoke of the US war in Afghanistan and Iraq, while they themselves were in the middle of a war against the narcos. They thought of me as a US official and wanted me to answer for US policy. Suddenly in the middle of it, there was a loud noise outside. And then everybody ran out only to discover that it was a motorbike that was misfiring instead of any narco problems, thankfully. On the way back, the haunting streets and the bullet holes, and I thought on the TV news of the birthday massacre and the embassy shooting. Here, everybody was afraid in El Paso Juarez, while two people found love, decided to get off the single lane and become married, while the outside was and the inside, and there was music and laughter, and the amistad and the cariño and the amor. And there I was, an extraño, an Indian, an American Indian, whatever. Martin dropped me off at the bridge. The return was quite peaceful and I crossed over quietly. Fear trampled by hope, but hope won over. Juarez sought life in the face of darkness. Downtown looked dreary, but all who walked there seemed hopeful of a cheerful world. Thank you.
Yeah, Amit. Awesome, man. And I know you this is a secret, man, but we might see a book from you kind of soon, huh? Somewhat soonish. Got a book in the works.
I hope so. I mean,
Manuscript.
it's just I kind of go between how to structure this book I'm working on, but I've been talking to Cheryl a bit about that, and it seems to me that I probably will have to. I'll probably have to settle on a multi-genre book. It won't be a poetry book. It won't be a fiction book. It will be a kind of fiction and poetry.
There's nothing more perfect for the border than that.
Why is that? Why do you think that?
Recently I've been reading Gris Munoz, La Rana. She had her book out, Coatlicue Girl, and it's a mix of poems and short stories, and honestly I feel like she could have essays too, and there's something about the border where it's just like a fusion of everything. And so I feel with your experience too, I just think you can't just tell it one way. It's got to be in multiple.
It has to be, genres. Because if there was no waters, I would have never stayed in El Paso. That's a guarantee. I mean, today it's very different because I've been here too long, so I know that. But I really did not feel El Paso that interesting when I moved here.
Yeah.
But that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You're one vowel away from being a Chicano writer.
There you go.
That's funny.
Claro que sí, señor. Claro que sí.
So really quick, we got a couple more before we close out because it's getting.
But Richie, I want to make an announcement real quick.
Yes, please. Yeah. So because it's getting late, before we get to the last performers, announcements. Do your thing, man.
Yeah. All I want to say is that we are still collecting stories for Life in the Time. And Richie, just to FYI you, I spoke to Raquel and she wants a meeting. So I'm going to sort it out with you. She has some ideas over that. So for those who have not submitted, please do so. And we're going to announce within the next 2 weeks what we're going to do with the collection of stuff that we have received so far. So I'm going to message you, Richie, so we can catch up on that.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Amit. Yeah, lifeinthetime.com. That's a little project we got going on. If you don't know, you guys can submit your poetry, your writing, your music, your visual art, like lifeinthetime.com. It's there in the chat. And as I mentioned, every 2 weeks we're gonna introduce a new writing theme. So I'm gonna introduce it now. We're almost done with the show. We got a couple more. So before we finish the show, just to let you guys know. So we just finished Juxtaposition. You're more than welcome to write about that in the future. We're not each show is just open, but if you guys want to write something new, I'm going to introduce the new theme tonight, next 2 weeks. If you want to write something. All right. So let's get you. Can you guys see this right here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So this is a stay-at-home open mic writing prompt.
No, I have not yet seen it.
Dan,
it's blank.
I don't know. I can see it.
Oh, wait, I saw it. Sorry.
Dan, all right, you're almost up. Hold on. I got to summon you first, though. Hold on. I mentioned this.
I'm not ready yet. I'm almost done. I need 15 minutes. I apologize.
All right, Dan. It's okay. It's not your turn yet. So we'll get you when it's your
Thank you.
The land is a being who remembers everything. All right. So this is the prompt for the next 2 weeks. So, with the prompts, I try and keep it open enough, a word, a concept, maybe a quote or a picture, something that, if you're inspired by it, write something that's kind of it's like a jumping point essentially. And so Joy Hardshow, if you're not familiar, she's an awesome poet. She's a poet and a saxophonist, which is what I am. And so she's one of my main inspirations when I was growing up and performing as a poet saxophonist. And this is from her piece, Conflict Resolution for Holy Beings. It's a line, and I think there's something that people can write about with this line here. The land is a being who remembers everything. So feel free, write about it. As I mentioned, write about any option of the optional prompts. It's optional. And if you want to, next 2 weeks, if you have a piece that you write or a piece that you think of when you hear this, obviously aside from the poem, but yeah, that's it. I'm going to post it on Instagram this week, so you guys get the firsthand look. And as I've mentioned, in the next month, I'm going to be working with some local businesses, and I'll let you guys know more about that. But that's the preview. All right, so before we go on, I'm gonna share a piece. A lot of you guys maybe haven't heard this one. It's an older piece, and earlier I mentioned border senses. We do not just barbed wire, but there's a couple different types of writing workshops, including Forward, which is writing workshops for teens and young college writers. And I've been able to make some good money as a writer doing workshops off of that, which is awesome. And there's also Memorias de Silencio, which is writing workshops for migrant workers. And we have such a great team and border senses behind all these things. And of course, there's also, like I said, barbed wire. So when I would do workshops for the youth, for middle school kids, high school kids, there's this piece. It's like a letter. It's an address, and it's called To Young Leaders. So I'm gonna share it with you guys. It's kind of it's kind of raw, but hopefully you guys can enjoy it. It's called To Young Leaders. Let your mind be a sponge to soak up endless stories and songs, because the future belongs to those who are curious and creative. So be curious and creative, but most of all, listen. Step 1, be you. So much so that the world cannot contain your uniqueness unless it doubles, no, triples in size. Shake mountains with your melody. Enjoy every song of yourself from crescendo to crescendo, like mountaintop from mountaintop, so that others will have no other choice but to get you stuck in their heads. So much so that if you were in front of Picasso, he would say, I can't paint you. You're so weird. Or better yet, I painted you perfectly because you're so weird. Don't be afraid to be alone. So when the time comes, and they will come, you will embrace your own thoughts and spend your last dollar on an empty notebook. Sure, why not? You'll embrace the mistakes, the missed aches of your most confusing ears. You'll take all of that, crumple it up into a ball of confusion, bathe it in the fires of Mount Doom, and wear it as your armor. Step 2, be bold. Walk this world with footsteps like exclamation marks, like lightning bolts. Let your march for justice be a booming thunder for those who are voiceless and cannot fight back. We learned it from our brothers in the fields, Isang Bagsak. When one falls, we all do. When one rises, we all do. You come for one, you come for all. So be bold. And an army of one, unapologetic to your ideas. Ask big questions so you may get big answers. Like mi abuelo, who wrote love songs about the border, who worked hard every day of his life for the love of his family, who showed me how to experience the beauty of a moment and the true meaning of lifelong friendships. To travel cross country and meet silver-tongued poets from silver cities who tell us to hold on and chase the sun. Go out, get dirty, stay up late, jump fences, sneak into buildings, create, meditate, set people on fire, figuratively. So be bold and take risks. Like that one time when I was a freshman in high school, and everything I had learned from movies was that one big romantic gesture. You know the one. Like when that guy frantically races to the airport in order to stop her and make a public declaration of love, which is exactly what I did when I raced a truck without a license down to the El Paso International Airport with a collection of the very first poems I had ever written because I wanted her to have them. When I caught her and I told her in front of her family that she was spectacular, and in the vernacular of a choked up 15-year-old boy with misguided ideas of love, said my goodbye. How'd that work out for you? They say. Well, she told me that she cried on her flight all the way to Oakland. So did I for a while. And that's when I realized that it was okay to cry. Yes, guys, it's okay to cry. So be bold and take risks, even if they lead to tears that soak into the bone, to provide the nutrients and help them grow into the person who you are and will be. Step 3, be in love. Look that person in the morning mirror and tell them, you look good today. Take that time to listen to the heartbeat of your lover. Make sure you forget that time exists, especially when you're deep in each other's bodies and wind is a howling giant along the border. Take that one angry, bitter person and disarm them with compassion. Don't waste your time on nonsensical arguments that bring each other down, because the best way to stop bridges from burning is to let it all become water underneath. Take that love and compassion, wear it on your sleeve and make it your anthem. Be in love with nature, with stories, with knowledge, with home, with your mind, with your body, with the world. To young leaders, be you, be bold, be in love. Oh, and one last thing. Here's the microphone. Come and take it. All right, so that's my piece there.
Yes.
That's an old school one. I never really perform it, but it's for the kids. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll read one more and we'll see where we're at. This is only a draft. I've never really worked on it that much. So for those of you who actually edit your poems, you're much better than me in that regard. And really it's a draft in the sense that it's a bunch, it's compiled. Okay, I don't know. Are we still live on YouTube? We are. Okay, so if you're watching this is a compilation of, I'm a flirt. I don't know. So I love the text and just, so this is a compilation of just messages I've sent out. It's also messages that I've written, or words I've written under influences of a variety of things I won't mention, but it's called Beautiful Dreamer. And it's just, I don't know, just simply about love and passion and the depth of human emotion. Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. Simply that. Okay. Beautiful Dreamer. Free word spilling, never killing time in sublime, subatomic, surreal inclinations, inked out incantations of synced clout reputations, tumbling, fumbling in and out sensualizations, a freeform storm of synaptic kickback visualizations of this spirit lit, legit. Let's follow that flame. 4 a.m. Intoxicated buzz of frenzy and fury. Spray paint coats the air of this bohemian underbelly, bridged between star and Ekis. The night sky reveals the spiraled fire of time. So that's what Van Gogh saw when he painted that sky. Damn, those shadows sure do look a lot like people. It's feeble. Look, Then there was you, lullaby of the world. We are the ever-patient sky watcher and the paper mache moon. There are a lot of substances swimming in here. Two-way drunken texts spill out in the shape of smoke signals. Is this it? Beatbox in my head, hummingbird in my heart. I tried the coffee spoons, but the other stuff was so much more alluring. Love has very well taught me the actions of fools. I'm glued to this chair, but the sky is calling me. I want to serenade the past and caress the rhyme of tomorrow as chills recollect static from the space of in-betweenness. Space for peace, at least for lease. Familia. Fleck away from the splatter and fragile hues and dark matter to the clash and clatter of me's and you's. Guess who? Hopscotch to the scotch on the rocks. Leave your socks at the door. This is the dance floor of your dream-skewed familia. Moon that led to swoons in June, to a year-long build-up, to a tune of a broom. Then there was you. Then there was you. Lullaby of the world. It's going to take a lot more than hope to get us home. A lot more than love to show us pain or hate, to slow us down in battle of heart versus brain. Our walk is the climb of a reckless dancer. Each step improvised a bit more than the last. Will we still love each other in the end? Even Orpheus looked back. It's a turntable turbulence, burn the beat, jump in the jukebox, and supreme screen scene of tactile tectonics, bump in the boombox to rock your socks, stomp your feet, cafe con pan melody, jumping on your jealousy. It's a jigsaw jive to a shindig jig, you dig? I'll spread out like dirt through the hurt and the sandstone form of white sand energies that we'll see in a new sense of urgency. Through illuminated glass, the spiraled truth reveals itself. Es muss sein. It must be. Kandinsky, moon dancer, you, firecracker anthem. I nod my head to the beat that echoes in the wake of your footsteps. Heartbeat, heartbeat, heartbeat. Lively pulsations of pithy meanderings, sleepwalker with a tempered glance of steel and roses. Only the mad ones know what delights are swimming inside that beautiful mind of yours. And we... and we're a slow dance away from trouble. All right, that's it from me there. It's that one's kind of wild.
Yeah.
That one's a long one and all over the place. But thanks for listening. I really appreciate that. Oh man, it's getting late. Dan, we're like overtime. So Dan, are you ready?
Still, give me a minute.
No, Dan, it's 11. It's after 11.
You guys saw me. There's no one left, man. It's you or nothing. All right, hold on.
But Dan, did you lose your Bluetooth?
Hey, can you hear me or no?
Nope. Sorry, I don't know why. I don't know why I said it so emphatically, but yeah. So if you guys aren't aware, there is like consistency between these episodes. In the last 2 weeks, okay, yeah. The last 2 weeks, Dan has had trouble with his mic.
Can you hear me?
Say, are you the Verizon guy? Here, say it one more time. Talk.
Okay.
I can't hear you.
All right. I need you to... Okay. Can you still hear me?
Well, in order to hear you, you need to talk. So talk.
I am talking.
Keep talking.
Yeah. Okay.
There it is. All right. Wait, hold on, Dan. Yeah.
Okay.
So by the way, Dan, this ends at 11. So if you're not ready by 11, like you got to be ready next time. All right. But we'll get you on. We'll go a little overtime for you. But as we know, as is per tradition, I have to summon the men. I'm gonna fulfill the role of the Green Ranger in the Power Rangers, and come up with a melody to summon our friend here. Okay. Oh, that's done. I'm getting a little funky for you, Dan. All right, I don't know. Sorry, that's bad. Dan, do your thing. Just come on.
Thanks. All right, thanks, Richie. All right, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, I'm still, I'm talking through my Bluetooth, and I don't know if you guys can hear me. Well, okay. All right, guys. As you know, I already did part one last week. I was for 6 years of my blog, part one, prologue. But now this is 6 years on my blog, part two, epic blog. Here's my blog. Yeah, it's document and analog what is going on after 6 years. No more tears and nor fears. Well, with the beginnings and beyonds, and we're still keeping going. And yeah, with changes throughout, episodes count, maximum time extension, picks and others, notes, special editions, poetry slams, and interviews, slideshows, birthday tributes, Facebook page, achievements, my goals, and the new release, the upcoming things and sports, and the COVID-19. Yeah, we're still not in the woods. And Black Lives Matter. And don't forget my learning disability. I'm open on my ability, fame, complexity. Yeah, like I said, two new topics: COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter. Yeah. Well, I'm still hoping for a big break. I really want to earn, not take. It's still no fake. Make no mistake. Still my reputation at stake in my wake. And yes, I like a plate of steak. Yeah. Like I say, catalog on my blog. I'm as slow as a poke. Yeah. But fast as an atomic dog. Whoa, whoa. You can call it a joke, say like sailing through a fog nor smog. Yeah, 6 years, coast to coast. Um, 6 long years, coast to coast. No ghost. I've been keeping all you post. More than a half a decade. It's positive to persuade and negative to dissuade. It ain't no charade, never to be dismayed. As of now, we are still not out of the woods yet from COVID-19. And oh no, you can't be serious. Can you still hear me? Oh no, no. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Hello?
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, sorry. Okay. As of now, we're not out of the woods yet from COVID-19, still haunting the backwoods. Still hot, I bet. Also, Black Lives Matter. Why those justice getting flatter, keeps falling from a ladder. We won't accept that. No justice, no peace. Decrease the hate, increase the peace. Justice matters. Black Lives Matter. And I listen in and out of the shade. Skills I earn with practice of aid, and a big break is the hopeful key, something I want or need to be, so I may have a glass of tea and lemonade. Well, 6 years is not near, nor fears. It's here. 6 years of my blog, Dan the Man's Weekly. I came a long way, long sailing through the fog, not smog, completely nor discreetly. August 25th was the day I created, early or belated, never to be hated. But 6 years of my blog, Dan the Man's Weekly. End quote. All right. Thank you. What do you think, Richie?
Cool, man. 6 years. That's happening, man. That's consistency. That's resilience. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Dan the Man. Follow Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. And for the sake of time, we're over time. So I want to thank everyone who has tuned in tonight. I thought it was
Hold on. Okay.
Dan. You really
my
quick,
6-year anniversary, Dan the Man.
right? Go ahead.
Okay. My 6-year anniversary of Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Yeah, it's on tomorrow, guys. Please do not miss it. And yes, and for those of you who has not seen my special edition featuring Richie from 2 vlogs ago, it's Fine 673. Featuring my special edition featuring Richie. You guys want to check it out? Please check it out. I'll leave the link right down there. Please, everybody, check it out. You guys gotta see this. And oh yeah, I need to share that on the open mic, the group page. I need to share that. Guys, please check it out. And again, thank you very much, Richie. I appreciate it. So thoughtful words.
Go
Follow
do
me
that,
on
man.
Twitter. Okay, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube and find the Man's Weekly on like the page on Facebook. All right, thanks a lot. Back to you, Richie.
Cool, man.
Richie.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Congratulations. 6 years. That's a lot. He recently asked me to be on the show, so you can check that out. I recorded it in this very room. We talked about a lot of things, including this online open mic. So, but follow that if you wanna be kept up to date with things going on in El Paso and El Paso music. So, for the online open mic, I appreciate everyone who has tuned in. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please, leave a comment. Tell us, who did you like? Who did you enjoy? What was your favorite line? Leave a comment below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell. That way so you can be notified when we go live and when we post future content. And I want to give one last shout out to everyone who performed. If you guys are still with us on the Zoom chat, go ahead and unmute yourselves. Make a little bit of noise for yourselves. You guys killed it. Yeah, make some noise for yourselves.
Thank
you.
Yeah. That was fun tonight.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Thank you, Richie. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks, Dan. So,
Thank
with that said, stay at home open mic presented by Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. If you haven't already, follow us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can just type in Barbed Wire Open Mic. We will show up. Lots of people tonight. Go back to the show. Everyone dropped their pages, their stuff. Go follow them, support them, and we will see you guys another Monday. Remember, next week, new prompt. Love to see it. But for the open mic, I will see you guys next time. Peace.